he was getting fired before the ACC tournament.
Yeah, where they had to win 5 straight.
As the 10 seed in the ACC tournament, they win the tournament.
Like Georgia?
And then they go on. Yeah, and unlike Georgia, they make a Final Four run.
The quickest firing since a Final Four appearance since John Brady at LSU, who went to a Final Four, did the entire next year, and was fired during the season less than 2 years after a trip to the Final Four.
Wow. Yeah, Final Four normally buys you more than what it bought for Keats. I mean, it was just one of those deals where they knew they were firing him last year. I think he only got a 2-year bump on his contract. So I don't think it really changed the math that much for NC State.
But you do feel like if you're NC State, we haven't been to a Final Four since we won it all in '83.
You know who's rumored to get this job?
You're probably going to Andy Kennedy?
No, Will Wade.
Oh.
That they have
That'd
fired.
be a great hire.
They have fired Keats knowing that
I just brought up Andy Kennedy because he did play there
for a minute. Yeah.
Will Wade is the guy who is the target of NC State.
Not the first time he's been a target.
They had $2.5 million in NIL money available this year. They've, according to reports, have promised to increase that number for NIL, the pool for NIL to get to players.
That would be a really good hire. But back to Bucky, like if he would have gotten Sanford back to the NCAA tournament, great game in the loss to Kansas last year, but they win one of these games, he is that hot, mid-major coach that people would be after.
So you would have Will Wade at NC State. You would have Shire at Duke, not going anywhere. He is a hot commodity, maybe National Coach of the Year in the voting. And then North Carolina.
Keeping Hubert, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they extended the contract to start the year. It came out in December, or at least he signed in December.
I think the best coach might be Will Wade. I mean, Shire tried. It's hard to figure that out.
I know,
Shire.
but I mean,
he's doing a heck of a job. I would tell you.
They've not fallen off at all from Coach K, basically.
I mean, just watch North Carolina. They did enough probably to get in the tournament, but that bad loss at home against your rival this past weekend again.
Yeah.
They never know what happens in the aftermath of that. Arkansas State tonight against Troy for the Sun Belt, and that is Brian Hodgson, the former Nate Oates assistant, who has a chance to get Arkansas State to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch that, and you wonder how Hodgson having that connection to Nate Oates in Alabama and the success he's already had at Arkansas State, how quickly he starts to climb the ladder. Is this guy who might get mentioned for some of the openings that you'll have at the end of the year? He's done a tremendous job, though, there at Arkansas State. Great hire by our buddy Jeff Purinton to bring him from Tuscaloosa.
So 3 teams have their first ever trip to the NCAA tournament clinched already. Southern Illinois University in not Evansville, Edwardsville. Is that correct? Is it Evansville or Edwardsville?
Evansville is Indiana, so I think it's Edwardsville. Yeah,
SIUE. SIUE. Sui? Is that what they said?
Sui? I don't know.
Wait, Southern Illinois has never been?
Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville. SIUE.
I was about to say, because I remember Alabama winning a walk-off against Salukis.
The lesser of the Southern Illinois.
Yeah, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. They're in. High Point is in for the first time ever.
And that's a pretty good High Point team, by the way.
And Omaha is in for the first time ever. Did that used to be Nebraska-Omaha?
I think so.
Like Alabama-Birmingham?
Yeah, I think it used to be Nebraska.
And they had one of those weird games where it was against St. Thomas or Thomas.
Who couldn't go. So win or lose, you were going to get in if you're Omaha. Okay, so let's play Name the Mascots. If that is Nebraska-Omaha, I think I remember them as the Kangaroos.
Nope. It has changed. It may have been, but it has changed.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round. Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store. Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, live show here. We'll get to all the basketball. Big day SEC honors in which Auburn cleaned up the two biggest ones with Bruce Pearl and Janai Broome. No surprise on either one. We'll talk about that coming up. And the new AP poll and why real basketball people like us now really don't respect the AP poll.
Basketball stinks.
Yeah, I don't know if you're more basketball or golf now. I've never seen such a transformation in a year.
I love basketball season. It's been such a fun basketball season. Taylor and I had a blast going to all these games. But I want to start, if I can, with the NFL yesterday because it was such a fun day. I got home. Didn't have really anything to watch. I didn't want to watch the end of that Severance that was so boring.
Boy, I tell you what,
but I did go back and eventually watch the last 27 minutes, which the last 27 was better than the first 27.
So weird. That show is just weird for the sake of being weird. My theory is they don't have any idea how they're going to end the show.
Yeah. So or the next episode.
Or the next episode. So they're just going to throw as much weird stuff against the wall as they can.
Normally that's the way it works with
Is it really?
Yeah, I think with a lot, yeah.
I thought you start with an ending in mind and work towards that ending.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd have a beginning and an ending.
Huh?
Not with TV.
You don't?
Yeah. No, you start with a cool concept, and then you just start building these characters, and then let them have a soap opera.
Yeah, because you don't know how long it's going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Severance doesn't have any idea how
I don't know why you two just don't tap out on that.
I think I'm about to. It is so weird. I've invested so much time now. I want to see how it ends.
But I am shocked that's one of the shows that you've invested time in.
Yeah, it is so slow. That is surprising that you like that one, Brownie. But so I get home yesterday afternoon. The point of the story was I just turned on the TV and they've got the live reaction going on. Like they've still got Schefter over here and Get Up where he's on his phone. They got a Schefter cam going. Laura Rutledge is commanding the center there, and they're all at a table, and it's just nonstop breaking news left and right. And the first thing I was laughing my ass off was they try to be the first, and Rappaport is doing it at NFL Network. Rossini's doing it with The Athletic. They're trying to be the first to break the story, not only on their air, but also on Twitter. Well, what was happening yesterday? Twitter was getting attacked by some foreign entity.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
To Elon Musk.
Okay.
So he says it was coming from the Ukraine. Some people were saying, it's got to be Canadians. So we don't know who was attacking us. Was it the Chinese? I don't know, but somebody was attacking Twitter. So they've got a camera constantly on Schefter. And so he's getting text, working two phones from NFL people, and then he's trying to break on Twitter. And you would see this. He'd go. He would get mad.
Twitter wasn't working?
Because we were doing it during the show. We'd be like, man, Twitter's not working. But Schefter would be like, you just see him react when it would be not working at that one moment. And then it would work, and he'd get it up. And they'd have graphics. Adam Schefter's reporting on Twitter. He's sitting across from you. But it was amazing news going on. And that included Sam Darnold, Justin Fields all getting deals yesterday. And then it ended up being $1.5 billion in free agency money and new contract money given out in one day. $1.5 billion in one day.
Well, we hear from, Adam Silver and Rob Manfred that both of those leagues, the NBA and Major League Baseball, are both healthy leagues. I don't know if they are or aren't. We know the NFL is. Yeah. And with the salary cap getting expanded and more money coming into the fold, look, these teams can spend and spend and spend, and I don't think they can just outspend what they've got. I mean, the kitty continues to grow when we're talking about the NFL.
All I know is that anytime the NFL comes to Fox or CBS or ESPN wanting more money, they get it. And there's a line of people saying, if you'll talk to us, we'll give you more.
Yeah.
Amazon is saying that. Netflix. They're saying that, If you'll talk to us,
Apple.
we'll give you more. Yeah. And in the same breath, Major League Baseball is not coming back to ESPN, at least now, unless they can work it out, because the reports are ESPN told them we'll give you half of what we've promised to give you.
Yeah.
So they're trying to cut in half what they want to give Major League Baseball, reportedly, while just telling the NFL, look, there's the safe right over there. Let's just give you the combination and make this easier. We'll cut the middleman out. You just take the combo to our safe, and y'all take what you want.
But this is all part of a give and take. Now, we know this. We went to 17 games. A lot of people said we would never see it because of the safety of the players. Now, we're giving more money. the take on the other side is we're going to be going to 18 games.
Oh, there's no doubt.
What was crazy yesterday, the Patriots spent $283 million by themselves, and they still didn't get a quarterback. I guess they're going to address that at some point in the draft. They did go Josh Dobbs for 2 years.
The Patriots?
Yeah. They got Drake May.
Yeah.
They got Drake May.
They got a backup with Josh Dobbs.
You've got your future.
No, the Patriots are the big winner.
But they are going to attack offense. Most of their $283 million was spent on defense yesterday. Sam Darnold goes to Seattle, 3 years, $100.5 million. He's 27. I didn't know Justin Fields was already 26. 2 years, $40 million to the Jets. Let's go Darnold first. He leaves all the weapons that he had in Minnesota, and he goes to Seattle now, and he's got 0 weapons. Would you have taken less money to have more weapons and have more success, or do you take the money while you can in Sam Darnold and go out to Seattle where you are not going to have the weapons you had in Minnesota?
You've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and
that's a rising star,
and that's about it, because you released Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so you're right, you don't have any weapons. But I mean, Sam Darnold, to be in this situation, I mean, it was such a blessing that this guy got to play in Kevin O'Connell's system, and that J.J. McCarthy actually went out, and it was his team last year, because this is a guy that probably would have signed a backup deal for, I don't know, $5 million. And now he gets a $100 million deal. Now it's a far cry from what the top quarterbacks are getting in this league. But if you would have told Sam Darnold a year ago today that you're about to get a $100 million contract in the offseason, sign me up. Yeah. And I don't care, weapons or no weapons.
Yeah, I mean, he's 27, so if he is a flat-out disaster, I think $55 million of that is guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong, right?
You're 30 and you got $55
million.
Well,
they will go after Cooper Kupp, by the way. Kupp is going to get released tomorrow unless some kind of miraculous trade goes down today. But yeah, they're going to add another weapon.
So, but back on Sam Darnold, the $55 million guaranteed, right?
Yep.
Take Sam Darnold back before last year, wherever you found Sam Darnold, and say, I got you $55 million guaranteed. He would have said, I've got the pen in hand. Where do I sign?
Oh,
I mean, that's what you got to look at, right?
Probably would have taken $10 million.
Yeah, I mean, the guy had one good year in a place where this will be fascinating to me to watch Sam Darnold, because this Kevin O'Connell cat, like if Sam Darnold goes and just is awful like Kirk Cousins was in Atlanta, people are going to start saying this Kevin O'Connell guy is the best quarterback coach.
Whisperer.
Yeah, best quarterback coach we've ever seen. Everybody that plays for the guy puts up all-pro numbers and then goes somewhere else and is awful. Now, there are circumstances around that. I mean, first of all, whoever plays for Kevin O'Connell is playing with what might be the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, so let's don't forget that. You know, that does not.
Isn't that Addison kid there too?
Yeah, Jordan Addison.
But you would give me, I mean, Justin
Jefferson.
Jefferson might be the best receiver in the NFL. I mean, he's in the discussion with Jamar Chase.
Had 10 insiders, I think 3 or 4 would have Justin Jefferson as your guy.
And the rest may say Jamar Chase. Right?
Maybe.
Good old line, good running backs.
Yeah, I mean, so you got a lot to work with, but still, I mean, there have been good quarterbacks.
Very good defense. It got better with Jonathan Allen yesterday.
There have been quarterbacks with a lot to work with that don't do what Sam Darnold did last year and Kirk Cousins did the year before him. So to me, that whole Darnold thing is fascinating to watch.
Justin Fields to the Jets there. He's 26.
And that's just...
If Pittsburgh wanted to keep you, why would you not stay in Pittsburgh? They were offering him a little less money than what the Jets were. 2 years, $40 million. That's not a ton of money, relatively speaking.
I just think he wanted to get the deal done, and I think he probably felt, much like last year, Pittsburgh wasn't committed to him as the starting quarterback, and they continue to look.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're Justin Fields, look, you're making a lot of money, but if you're Fields, you're going to the Jets, which is a losing proposition. And if you're the Jets, you're not getting your quarterback. This is not the quarterback of the future.
You went from Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Famer, to Justin Fields. And if you're Justin Fields, you're like, Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, couldn't make the playoffs. And, oh, by the way, they just unloaded one of the best receivers that he had too, right? And Devontae Adams. So, I mean...
But much like Sam Darnold, I mean, $40 million for Justin Fields.
No, you take it.
Yeah, this is like, retirement... If I don't want to get into broadcasting, I don't have to.
I want it to work for him. I like Justin Fields for some reason.
I do too. I think he's got upside.
I do too. But
he's going to the wrong.
They've got to embrace his running game.
But they're going to the wrong organization.
Yeah. I mean, if he were on a better team, I could see it working for him. With the Jets, I just don't see it.
A reality may set in for our buddy Jalen Hurts in the Eagles' offense, because part of the Eagles' success was their defense was so dang good. Their defensive line, right? They lose Milton Williams to New England and Josh Sweat out to Arizona. That's a little bit of breakup of the world champions there.
That's what you see, though. When somebody wins a Super Bowl, even somebody that goes to a Super Bowl and doesn't win, free agency takes a lot of your guys away. So
hard to stay on the top.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's why it makes what the Patriots did all those years so remarkable, and the Chiefs, for that matter, because this shows you just how impossible it is to stay on top with 53 parts that pretty much all 53 of them have to be good for you to win a championship.
And in the same division, Washington solidifies their offensive line, getting Laramie Tunsil from Houston.
What a weird path that guy has followed.
And they give up a ton. They get a fourth round this year. They give up a third and a seventh this year, and a second and a fourth next year. So Houston gets a lot of picks for Laramie Tunsil there, but Tunsil goes in there in the prime of his offensive line career and there to protect Jaden Daniels. It's just
Washington only gets better.
Yeah, that's a tough team to beat now in that division.
Weird road for Tunsil. Was going to be a top 10 pick, and on draft day somebody leaks the photo of him wearing a bong and a gas mask, which, I mean, who among us hasn't had on a bong and a gas mask?
That's right.
And
mine has logos on it.
And he drops in the draft. Miami takes him. He was really good for the Dolphins. The only reason the Dolphins unloaded him is they could get a ton for him from Houston, and Miami was in the rebuild.
He's made a lot of money.
He really has, and he's been a good lineman for Houston. It's just a weird path this guy has followed. To be as good as he is and to be on his third team already is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. My favorite sticker on my gas mask is Monday, Tuesday, Weeds Day.
Outside of...
I love Asheville, North Carolina.
Outside of Eli Manning, I mean, Metcalf's up there now. I mean, Patrick Willis, the career was so abbreviated. I'm talking about money made in the NFL. Is Laramie Tunsil, would he be number 2 to Peyton or to Eli Manning?
On what?
On NFL
Ole Miss
earnings?
money? Yeah, probably. Just on Ole Miss money?
Yeah, I mean, Metcalf's going to be up there now.
Yeah, DK Metcalf on his way. But no, I'd have to say Laramie Tunsil's got to be up there. I mean, that's the whole thing. He's been good at a primo position and has just bounced around a lot in terms of how long he's actually been in the league.
And then there's Najee Harris. I mean, I don't know where you guys rank Najee Harris as great Alabama running backs, but, man, he probably makes my top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, God, there's so many great ones, though.
Oh, I know.
Well, I mean, this is going to be...
I mean, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, guys that won Heisman trophies are going to be before.
You're about to say Mark Ingram's not there?
I'm about to say I think Najee Harris is better than Mark Ingram.
I don't necessarily disagree.
Now, let me also say Najee Harris is on a better offense than Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
So that helped Najee Harris.
But I put Najee Harris in the conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Do we remember, though, when you had Julio Jones, but there were really not even close to it was more like the offensive weapons you had last year, where they had to bring Mark Ingram in to basically run a wildcat to win a game.
Yeah.
No.
On
Mark
the way to a national championship.
Yeah, Mark Ingram was really good.
And a Heisman Trophy.
Mark Ingram in the same offense that Najee Harris played in 2020 would have put up any numbers he wanted to.
The key there is 2020.
Yeah.
So that means he played in the 2020 season, 2021 draft, 21, 22, 23, 24. We're going into our 5th year. Najee Harris, 1 year, $9.5 million deal with the LA Chargers. 1 year. And the guy,
Just when you think the running back market has been reset to favor the running back, you see a really good running back get a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
And that tells you that Najee Harris didn't have a whole lot of options at long-term deals, doesn't it? I mean, like if he accepts a 1-year deal, even though it's a good one, I mean, $9.5 million is a lot for a running back that's not named Saquon Barkley. But if you're only taking a 1-year deal, you didn't have long-term offers anywhere, it doesn't appear. Which is pretty wild because I think Najee Harris has been pretty good in the NFL. He's been in a middle-of-the-road offense.
Yeah, with no quarterback and legit passing game the last couple of years.
4 years he's gone over 1,000. Now, I know 1,000 yards now with 17 games isn't what it once was.
But still.
But look at that offense.
Yeah, we don't run the ball as much as we used to either.
That is an offense that in a lot of games is trying to limit possessions and play to their defense.
That's right.
But if I did look at the other side, his career average per carry is less than 4 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, 3.9 yards per carry in 4 years.
I hate to tell you this, but if I get 3.9 a carry,
I've heard
it's
that.
a first
That's
down.
the first down, right?
First down.
But I mean,
My dad used to say that all the time. If you get 3.5 yards a carry, it's a first down, son.
Yeah, Najee Harris.
Boring to watch that. Throw the ball.
Is a very, very solid NFL running back, and I think that 1-year deal shows that. Nothing flashy.
We'll see what happens today. My Buccaneers, you don't care. Chris Godwin got re-signed yesterday. I love the kid. So
my Dolphins got a backup quarterback, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Hey, by the way,
he'll get to play.
So he's going to get 4 or 5 starts. Somebody texted, a friend of mine texted me, he was like, "Can you imagine the numbers Zach Wilson could put up in Miami?" And I said, "Are you talking football?"
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know.
You're talking moms.
I don't really know.
And there's still a chance that whoever got on me in the chat room about hating on Kenny Pickett, he went to the place where he could end up being a starting quarterback. Kenny Pickett goes to Cleveland now. We'll see.
Somebody got to start.
Somebody's got to play quarterback there.
Yeah. The problem is the rest of that division.
Yeah.
You think Zach Wilson would like the trifecta in White Lotus right now?
He would.
Yeah.
He would.
Oh, he's in a great spot, by the way, at South Beach. How good is he living?
They didn't like the bar that they got sent to. Looked around. They got sent to the old people bar. Today, Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh could happen. Russ Wilson, and a bunch of offensive linemen. Those are the biggest names on the board today in free agency.
I had not thought about this until last night on social media. I saw somebody say, "Can you imagine this Pittsburgh locker room with DK Metcalf, George Pickens, and Aaron Rodgers?" I mean, it does have some combustibility.
Bring James Harrison back.
I mean, yeah, it's got some combustibility.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin will keep it all under wraps right there in Pittsburgh. That's the NFL. We'll get to the basketball now after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friends from Bojangles. They're not really.
They're not what?
They're not nuggets,
right?
At Bojangles, are they?
No, they're Bo Bites, Jim.
Yeah,
they're Bo Bites. That's what those are at Bojangles. The Bites, what?
I'm testing Brown on the fly there.
And I got it. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken, fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Don't call it a nugget, Dunaway. It's a Bo Bite. The only hard part, though, is choosing from 6 dipping sauces. A sauce for every kind of craving, from the creamy house-made ranch to sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today.
What's that sauce again? Peach what?
Spicy peach honey pepper. It sounds amazing.
It sounds really good.
Head to your nearest Bojangles today. Discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
All right. And our friend Greg from Pell City, who will jump on that roof and let you know if you got any storm damage up there. Listen, it only takes one shingle to get blown off last week and 167 mile per hour winds, or whatever we ended up having last week. Water entry points at that point. If you got a loose shingle that just blew into the neighbor's yard, whatever, Greg can get up there and let you know what's going on your roof. Free, no-cost roof inspection, no obligation. And just keep this name, Greg from Pell City, on standby. The phone number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. You know the storms get more violent every year, it seems, and you'll need a good roofer that you can trust. He's locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife own the company. They've got kids that work on the crews. It's just good, trustworthy people. And you don't always get that in the roofing industry, but you do with Greg from Pell City. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, A-plus rated with a Better Business Bureau, and great pricing and just an honest evaluation. That's what you get. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, Storm Restoration Roofing. Yesterday, basketball honors come down. Bruce Pearl, Stephen, by the way, on the show next segment to talk more basketball. Bruce Pearl is your SEC Coach of the Year. If it wasn't Bruce, who would it have been?
Well, I think if it wasn't Bruce, if Missouri had not leaked oil down the stretch, it might have been Dennis Gates. If Missouri...
From 0 to 18 to where they are.
Yeah, I mean, if Missouri had gotten the double bye, which going into the last week of the season, they were in contention with Alabama to get that double bye, but they leaked a lot of oil down the stretch.
Last month plus they were a top 15 team, and Gates, I think, would have been that guy if it wasn't Pearl. Todd Golden's got to be in the mix year 3. I mean, arguably, along with Bruce, has the best team in college basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Nate's kind of a victim of his own success.
That's right.
Nate's had a great year, but
you had a Final Four team from last year that, quote unquote, only got the 4 seed in the SEC tournament. I mean, that makes you an exceptionally good team.
Well, Alabama started preseason number 2.
That's right.
Yeah,
and they're they're preseason number 2, and right now Joe Lunardi has them as the best overall number 2. So that would be the 5th best team in the nation. That's not exactly a precipitous fall.
Yeah. Really, for me, it's Bruce, Dennis Gates, Todd Golden.
Yeah, I would probably put Golden ahead
of Gates. I think I would, too. I think I'd flip Gates and Golden if it were me.
I don't know, man. To go over in the league and the very next year to have a tournament team is pretty impressive.
I mean, this doesn't publicly get factored into stuff like this. Like, people don't talk about this openly. But if I'm evaluating Golden, what he maneuvered or had to avoid there in December when that story dropped, and for his team to stay together and play the way they did.
Yeah,
through all of that.
I know you talk about Gene Chizik and how they navigated the Cam Newton situation.
Oh, and that was amazing.
It was, but imagine if it was your own head
That's right.
on a platter, and you've got a family to balance, and you've got a team to balance. And it was seamless. Like there was never a problem. I never saw Todd Golden never flinched.
No, I mean, I remember, gosh, I don't remember where we were going, but I remember when the story hit. Actually, I think we were on our way down to Topgolf.
Probably does help if you are innocent, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was cleared, so that definitely helps. But
I'm just saying, if you've got a clear conscience, like if something salacious gets brought up, somebody accuses you of something, but
I didn't do it.
You haven't done it. It probably is a little easier.
I just remember we were I think we were doing a Bud Light game night way down at Topgolf, if I remember correctly, because it's weird how you remember these things. But I remember where I was on 280 headed downtown, and Taylor sent the story to us, or Scott sent the story to us, one of the two. And I remember the text popped up, and at the next stoplight, I opened it, and I saw the story, and I thought, well, there goes Florida season.
Yeah.
And maybe Todd Golden.
So Bruce Pearl is the coach of the year. Jedi Broome is your player of the year when you're in the running for the National Player of the Year. No surprise there with Jedi Broome being the SEC Player of the Year. First team, Broome is on that. Mark Sears of Alabama makes the All-SEC first team. Walter Clayton Jr., Wade Taylor IV, and Zakai Ziegler. I don't think the first team could win the SEC. They don't have enough. They don't have enough in the paint.
Yeah, they do have. That's small lineup right there.
Janai Broome, and then Walter Clayton Jr., Marcus Sears, Wade Taylor, and Zakai Ziegler.
Boy, I'd like my team though. I'd take my chances.
But on the other end of the floor, we may not ever see the shot clock get to the teens.
Yep.
We could be throwing some stuff up. The second team had Hubbard and Trey Johnson, Chad Lanier, Boyles from South Carolina, and Oweh from Kentucky. By the way, they'll score some points as well. Chad Baker made the All-SEC third team. Denver Jones is on the All-SEC defensive team. And then the all-freshman team. I sort of would like to go at it with this all-freshman team.
I was looking at this team, Jim, thinking in other conferences, how well would this team perform?
Because Asa Newell is a scorer, but he can play down low. Phylon Pettiford, Trey Johnson, and Jeremiah Fears. I look at all these awards and think to myself, the guard play in this league was unbelievable this year.
Could that team finish second or third in the ACC?
Yes.
The all-freshmen.
I mean, look, I think we do sleep on Clemson and Louisville a little bit. I mean, because you look at the
Duke
top
a little bit, relatively.
Well, yeah, I said second or third. They're not going to beat Duke. But could that team? Do you think that team could finish? Could they make the tournament in the ACC?
They would make the tournament in the ACC. I mean, those are your three locks. North Carolina is probably your fourth team that might be able to get in, but they've got a lot of work to do. They've got to win 2 or 3 games in this tournament.
I'm not quite sure what that team would do in the Big 12. Texas Tech is awful good. Houston is a 1 seed. I'm not sure what that team would do in the Big 10.
Well, they're an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, they're probably a tournament team in all those conferences.
Guys, Alex Condon's third team All-SEC. The guy's the Australian Condor. He's amazing.
You love that guy.
But if he would have played the entire year, it might be a little bit different.
Okay, what we saw last night, punching some tickets, then we'll get to some Stephen Pearl. We'll talk to Stephen about everything going on with Auburn as we go to the SEC tournament. The show being brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Brownie, we can jump in tonight and watch the Delaware Blue Hens in the CAA championship. They lost 11 of their last 12 regular season games.
Right.
I'll say it again. They lost 11 of their last 12 regular season games. They were the 12th seed in the CAA tournament. They have won 4 games, and they're 40 minutes away from going to the NCAA tournament.
It's the American dream.
Delaware and UNC Wilmington tonight. Listen, I lost some money Saturday at mybookie.ag.
Here we go, Lance.
I feel like I would hammer UNC Wilmington tonight. I don't even care what the line is.
Well, it's 8.5, but
oh my gosh, I would give that easy.
You can play those games at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag with the tournaments coming up. It is a great time to jump on board right now at mybookie.ag. And they're going to give you a great sign-on bonus, too. So you guys are always telling us, I love the sports book. I also love the casino. So mybookie.ag has comboed their bonus right now with code NEXTROUND. If you sign on right now with code NEXTROUND, you get a 50% sportsbook sign-on bonus up to $1,000. That's 50% bonus in the sportsbook up to $1,000. Also, a $10 casino chip. So go right to that casino and play with some free money right away. That is code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. That is mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
ACC tournament starts today. I believe the Big Ten tournament starts today. Wofford last night in a tremendously entertaining basketball game in Asheville, North Carolina. Rallies to beat Furman. There was a moment in that game they just were making shot after. I don't think they missed a shot for like 8 minutes in the second half. Wofford rallies and wins that game. They punched their ticket.
Dangerous team to you?
No.
Joe Lunardi has them playing Alabama in the first round.
Oh, shoot. Did you let me say that, Brown?
When I had Wofford last night, I had the Terriers plus the 1.5. Yeah. I told you guys about the Kyler Fowlwich. Did you notice
I saw him.
6'9", 250-pound receding hairline.
Looks like he's playing in a Y league somewhere.
Yeah. No, but that's what I was when I was watching Wofford. I was like, I know these teams always keep it close in the first round, but how in the hell is Wofford going to keep it close with whoever they play?
And congratulations to Troy. They get their third ever NCAA tournament bid, beating Arkansas State last night in the Sun Belt Championship. AP poll came out yesterday. We'll talk to Stephen Pearl next. As we head to break here, I will tell you that this is why basketball people don't really respect the AP poll. Duke won this week, ending Auburn's 8-week run at number 1. Houston's number 2. Auburn drops to 3. They've been number 1. They've got 16 quad 1 wins. They're now 3rd.
Houston's pretty good.
They are good.
And Auburn did get swept this week.
Yeah. They did. Florida's 4th. Alabama's 5th there.
Duke's going to get that number 1 overall.
Listen, the real poll comes out Sunday. The real poll comes out Selection Sunday. That's the one that matters.
New Life Art brings you the show today. If you're looking for great works from Daniel A. Moore. I was in a barbecue place the other day, and I forget to tell you about some great Auburn works. I forget about the reverse back in the day. Remember Lawyer Tillman?
Yeah, big play.
Yeah, that was a Daniel A. Moore painting there, bow over the top, but of course all the great Alabama works, and of course the new stuff that you get, like the legend Nick Saban, 6 national championship. You get that from Daniel A. Moore, and the celebration of the Eagles World Championship, Super Bowl championship with former Alabama players Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and Landon Dickerson. Get all those works right now. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. Promo code TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama-born, Alabama-raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We are in Nashville this week at the Cellar on Friday, 9 to 12. Come see us. We'll lead you right into Auburn's first SEC game against either South Carolina, Arkansas, or Ole Miss. The Cellar, 9 to 12, right off Broadway, just down from Bridgestone Arena, presented by our friends at Kickin' It Cooler. We look forward to being in Nashville last year. We were there all the way through Sunday's championship, and then we had a chance to watch Selection Sunday with the Auburn Tigers back at their team hotel.
Indeed, and Auburn hoping, obviously, you'll replicate that. Their associate head coach, Stephen Pearl.
I don't know if they'll invite me back. I was a ruckus.
Associate head coach Stephen Pearl.
Disruptive.
Now on the Shannara hotline. Welcome in, Coach. How are you today?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks a lot. Obviously, the game Saturday did not go the way you wanted it to go. But are you able, once it's all, I know you never get over a loss, but are you able to step back and say, dang, that was a good game?
Yeah, I mean, that was a high-level basketball game, two top 5 teams in the country. I thought we played pretty well. We played well enough to win the game. Obviously, there's a couple possessions there that we would have loved to have had back. But, I think when you look at the game itself, they had some major step up on their end. Nelson, since our game against them last, was averaging like 7 points per game. He hadn't made a three since February 11th, and he was 3 for 17 from three in his last 10 games. So as a coach, you're going to live with all 6 of those threes that he shot. He just banged 3 of them. And, for teams to win on the road in tough environments, it takes step up like that. Cliff going 7 for 7. He hasn't made 7 field goals all year. Those guys both stepped up in big, big ways. And I thought we did a really good job on the guards. Sears, offensively, he had been averaging close to 30 points per game over his last couple. We held him to 9 points, and Aiden didn't do anything, so I thought we did a really good job on their guards, but their bigs did an unbelievable job and stepped up in a big moment. And that's how it goes sometimes in those types of games. And they're able to pull out a close one in overtime.
So Janai goes for single digits against Kentucky and A&M, and people are like, is he 100%? Then he plays 43 minutes, 15 to 28, 34, 8, and 5 blocks. I think he answered that on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, Janai had the advantage on the inside. He shoots 28 2-point field goals and goes to the foul line 5 times. So curious how that's possible. But Janai's tempo and his pace was so much better in this game. he was really locked in, and obviously wanted to step up because he didn't play his best games, and like you said, in the games before then. So played with a much better tempo, way more assertive. And I thought he obviously had a very good game on the offensive end. Defensively, still a lot of things we got to clean up on that end of the floor. But I thought Janai obviously that's what we expect from Janai every single night, and that's what he's done. I would say 95% of our games this year is he's done it at a very high level against the best competition.
Speaking of cleaning it up, obviously Chad Baker-Mazara is a conversation point coming out of that game. BP afterwards was talking about you can't retaliate. So I went back because that surprised me watching the game from up on the third level. So I went back and watched some clips of the game, and Youngblood and Mazara were at each other throughout the contest. When you talk to Chad Baker-Mazara after a game like that, after what happened, what's that conversation like in that situation?
Well, first and foremost, what Chad did is, it's unacceptable. It's inexcusable. You can't do that. We learned that last year. And, it obviously puts him in a really bad spot. It puts his teammates in a bad spot. And obviously, it has consequences. And, it's a conversation that we've had with Chad all year. And I think for 95% of the season, Chad's done a really good job of not retaliating because, let's face it, he is a target now because of what happened last year. And people are going to try and garner that reaction that he gave in the Alabama game because they know it's in there somewhere. And I think Chad's done a really good job all year of refraining from that. And that's an area that he's grown. But obviously on Saturday, was in the game for 17 minutes, and there was 3 different instances where I feel like it kind of elevated him to the point of where he did retaliate, and obviously would have loved for those to have been handled before then. But regardless of what happens, can't do what he did. Doesn't matter what they did. You can't react that way. It's, like I said, inexcusable, unacceptable. Chad's accountable for it, understands what he did was wrong, understands it put, his team in a really bad spot. And, obviously he's going to continue to try and grow, moving forward. So obviously a really unfortunate situation, but obviously was really proud of our team, when it did happen. Didn't have him for, however many minutes were left in the second half plus overtime. Those guys really battled. Todd Pettiford had to play extended minutes. Denver Jones coming off an ankle injury had to play extended minutes. Miles Kelly, like all those guys had to dig deep and and continue to grind without him. And we had multiple chances to win that game and to seal that game. And couple mistakes on our end, and obviously they executed on some things late, and they were able to pull out a really good win.
Associate head coach Auburn Tigers Stephen Pearl with us on the Shannara hotline. Your team doesn't panic in those situations, though, it doesn't seem like, and I don't mean it this way, but it's happened before, so it's not like it catches you guys by surprise. And I did not see an obvious fall off, and maybe it was on the defensive end where I didn't see it because I'm a dummy that just watches the offensive end, as you know. But I guess it's a compliment to the makeup of your team that they don't get undone when something like that happens to him.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the close games we've won this year. That was the first one that's really gone the other way. Houston, close game. Iowa State, close game. Texas, kind of a close game. South Carolina, when Janai goes down, close game. Georgia, pretty close game. Tennessee, we're down in the last couple minutes, come back and win that game. Arkansas, Georgia, we're pretty close. So we've found ways, to win in spite of, Denver getting hurt against Kentucky, found a way to, continue to hang in there. And so I think that's just the makeup of our team. Our depth has been our biggest strength. I think our bench has got to really continue to step up, though, because, we could have used some guys in the second half when Chad was out to step up and step in. And, we weren't able to do that. So we had to kind of rely on our top 6 guys. So our guys have done a really good job all year of kind of handling adversity. And, obviously this week was a tough week for us, but, I think it's something that we can learn from and continue to grow from and build on.
I think a lot of people still believe you guys are the number one overall seed, but after back-to-back losses this week against A&M and Alabama, it is in play that Duke could be that number one overall seed. How important is that, if it is at all?
If that's still in play, then the whole purpose of scheduling the way we scheduled and playing in the league we played in, it's pointless. And I think it sets a dangerous precedent, in my opinion. If you look at the history, and let me ask you a question first. It's not important at all. It's the main importance is obviously being a 1 seed, and then the regional setup. If we can get through Lexington to be able to play in Atlanta, that would obviously be beneficial. Hopefully, Duke picked Newark as its regional site, so it won't really matter. But if you look at our body of work, it doesn't compare when you're looking at Duke's resume. It's not even close, actually. The only thing they have on us is the head-to-head at their place. We have 9 more quad 1 victories than they do. We have 7 more quad 1 plus quad 2 victories. We played in the toughest conference in the history of college basketball, and we won it with a week to go. So I would say our resume was pretty much wrapped up going into the Texas A&M game. But like you said, obviously dropping 2 this week, human nature can kick in. It is Duke. They're an amazing team. I'm not belittling their team. They're a top 2 or 3 team in this country. There's no doubt. But when you stack up the resumes, and if that's an important piece in what seeding goes into, we should be the number 1 overall seed. But if we're not, what's most important is that obviously we start in Lexington. If we can find a way to win 2 games, obviously would love to be playing in Atlanta for the next 2 games moving forward. So it'd be cool to kind of have that as something that we did. But at the end of the day, matchups and where you're playing are more important than anything.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I would say it's insulting to the Southeastern Conference as a whole with what they've done this year if Auburn's not the number 1 overall seed. It's a slap in the face to the entire league, not just Auburn, if they're not the number 1 overall seed. People would say, what's Auburn got to play for in Nashville this week, or anybody else that's got the double bye? Last year it was a big deal that you won it, but you didn't have the SEC regular season championship trophy already too. So if you hear somebody say, what does Auburn have to play for in Nashville? What do you say?
I would just say continuing to play our best basketball. I think our guys have a chip on their shoulder right now and are a little angry with how last week went. So, I think they still have something to prove because I feel like there's a lot of chatter around the country right now. That's kind of riding us off a little bit. So I think our guys have a bad taste in their mouth with the A&M and Alabama game. And, they want to kind of get back to where we were when we were 8 straight weeks, number 1 overall in the AP and, in the coaches polls. So I think our guys obviously want to continue to prove that, we're worthy of being the best team in the country. And, we got to kind of show that in Nashville. But more than anything, it's all about playing your best basketball. And I thought we played well against Alabama. We did not play well against Texas A&M. We got punked. Alabama, I thought we played well enough to win the game, and we played well enough to win a lot of games. They just had some special step up from some guys on their roster, and we just got to continue to, like we talk about every single week, improving and playing our best basketball moving forward.
You and your sister had a pretty cool moment yesterday. You had your kids with you, coach's grandkids, and you got to inform your dad that he was the SEC Coach of the Year. That had to be a pretty special moment.
Yeah, it was cool. A couple years ago, when he won it, 2022? My younger sister Leah and her 2 babies FaceTime BP to inform him. So I thought it'd be kind of cool, since we got 2 new ones in the world, to bring them to the office. And even though they couldn't speak, we got to let them be the grandbabies. We tried rehearsing it all night, but Lainey just couldn't get it figured out in time at 3 months. So it was cool. Obviously, we had a tough week last week, so for him to be able to see them in the office on Monday and give them some good news, obviously was a lot of fun to do, and glad we were all able to do it together.
I don't know if you know former Alabama guard Jim Farmer, but he went from professional basketball player to a musician, country musician.
You used air quotes on that.
Well,
okay.
I don't know how well of a musician he was. I see the guitar over your right shoulder that I guess you got at one of the SEC tournaments in Nashville.
Yeah, last year, I think.
Can you play guitar at all?
No, I dabbled with it, but I got these big fat fingers, and it didn't go so well. So, no, not musically inclined, especially on a guitar. In the shower, though, I'm a hell of a singer.
Okay.
So, it's,
what do you sing?
Yeah,
do you sing to the little one? Like, sing her to sleep? Do you have something you read?
I'll read to her. I'll read to her at night before she goes down. I guess according to the books, all that mental stimulation stuff is good. So, it's we've been able to get her to sleep through the night on the books. So on the books that we've read. So it tells us to do that as well. So I'm gonna listen to him.
I like Steven. He's going analytics raising the kids too. Like I've read the analytics.
It's Ken Pom for babies for sure. Mom's on call for those of you out there. It's a godsend. That's for sure.
You ought to write this book and think about every assistant and every former coach would read it if you wrote a coaching book for babies.
How to coach your kids. Yeah.
I deserve zero credit for what Laney's doing right now. That's all Brittany. She needs to write a book based on what she did. I just show up and do what I'm told.
Did Laney hear the phrase while she was sitting in your lap at all? God, you got to block out on defense and switch at the rim defensively this weekend.
She got some more colorful language when I was at home this week, so hopefully her little ears haven't developed yet, and she's not taking in too much of the information that her dad was spewing out this week. But no, she's been great.
Well, there's a great.
She'll be in Nashville this week, so it'll be fun.
Oh, good.
Well, if she's getting the colorful language, go the F to sleep. I don't know if you've ever seen that book, but one of my nieces has got it. Yeah, it's very, very funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check it out.
Coach, thank you for the time. We'll see you in Nashville. Good luck this week.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, take care. That is Stephen Pearl, the associate head coach of the Auburn Tigers, with us on the Alexander Schnorr Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Yeah, and the show being brought to you, our 4 downs today, actually being brought to you by our friends at ImageCraft. LT's got our 4 downs. Brown ImageCraft has more than 4 ways to make copying and printing easier.
Indeed, they do. You can print more and you can spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft.net is where you find more. They carry all the major brands: HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. You can visit them in person on Gadsden Highway, just down for the Pinnacle Shopping Center in Trussville, or online at imagecraft.net. In store, just tell them I heard it on the next round. They're going to give you 10% off. Shop online with code TNR10 for 10% off. Free same-day delivery on all the in-stock items in the Birmingham Metro. Free shipping outside the area with ImageCraft. ImageCraft.net. Print more, spend less with ImageCraft.
First down.
More wins in 2025. Sam Darnold with the Seahawks, or the combination of Geno Smith with the Raiders and Justin Fields with the Jets?
I think I'll go.
I'm going to go combination here.
Yeah, the combo. I mean, I don't think the Raiders' offense is going to be just awful. I feel like Seattle's offense is going to struggle and the Jets' offense is going to struggle.
See, I just don't know if Justin Fields is going to get all 17 starts for the Jets.
Who will they go with? Who's the other guy there?
I don't know. They might draft one still.
Yeah. They may. They may still draft somebody. But I'm going to go with the combo here.
I'll take the combo.
I think Geno could get to 6. And then I think Justin could get to 4 or 5. That's 11. That's a bridge too far for me in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle last year with the 10 wins, I don't think they're going to be as good this year. So
no close.
Yeah.
I think I would lean the combo as well. Of course, really difficult conference for Geno Smith going to the AFC West.
Yeah, it is. That's a good point. Yes.
Second down.
Bigger brand, Gonzaga basketball or Boise football?
Sadly, for Boise football, it's Gonzaga basketball, because Boise football is rarely compared to the best of the best in college football. Gonzaga basketball is often compared to the best of the best in college basketball over the last 20 years. Not the case with Boise football. So I think you look at Boise football as a little subset below the elite. Gonzaga is always compared to the best of college basketball, so I think the brand is bigger with Gonzaga basketball.
One thing that helped past tense, the Boise brand, was before the TV deals changed, when Chris Peterson had it kicking, they were on all the time.
Yeah.
You watched a lot of Boise football. Sometimes it was the late game on Saturday. They would play that Thursday night game a good bit. They would play when TV would tell them to play, and it helped their brand.
Yeah.
Gonzaga when they were kicking under Mark Few, they would play a lot of great November and December games. You never saw them again until March.
Yep.
I mean, they would completely disappear.
Yeah, I think you did nail it, though. Like Boise, back in the Chris Peterson days, they would have been in the college football playoff every year.
Yeah.
And have a chance to win. They were a good football team.
Yeah, I don't think they would have ever won a national championship.
But I think they would have been better than most Group 5s are now.
I mean, let's not forget, Gonzaga took North Carolina down to a final possession in the championship game. They were favored over Baylor, but it was just a buzzsaw of a Baylor team. So, yeah, I mean, Gonzaga, there were years where they were probably at least considered the best team in college basketball.
100%.
That's never been the case.
Probably
Gonzaga.
And by the way, you're mentioning brands and TV and playing where TV wants you to. How far has the Virginia Tech brand fallen off now that they don't play those Thursday night games?
Now, Lane Stadium on a Thursday night was a special place.
That's right.
I mean, it wasn't just like some random game. You were like, oh my gosh, they got to go to Lane Stadium on a Thursday night.
And now that they don't do that,
never watch them.
That brand has taken a hit a little bit.
Yep, never watch them.
Third down.
Johnny Knoxville, 54 years old. Better career, Johnny Knoxville or T. Martin?
T. Martin's a national champion in college.
He's still coaching.
Nothing in the NFL. At times has been considered a really good coach. He's had some run-ins, I think, with some NCAA things. It seems like he was mentioning a couple of things that are not important anymore. But I'm going to go Johnny Knoxville.
Is it fair to say that Johnny Knoxville created a genre of media?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He essentially created what became early YouTube videos before YouTube ever existed.
Yeah. I mean, half the stuff you see on TikTok, Johnny Knoxville was doing 20 years ago.
And he was
TV.
able to transcend that to doing mainstream, blockbuster films. Not that, like he was a big part of those films, but he still was cast.
That's right. He made the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm shocked he's still alive.
I am too, but I think I easily go Johnny Knoxville over T. Martin in this one.
Yeah, I do too.
He was an innovator. He was really an innovator, Johnny Knoxville was.
But T. Martin, you remember when he was such a highly coveted assistant that could recruit so well.
That's right.
Was it not Lane Kiffin that didn't they fly a helicopter out to a cruise to get him off the cruise ship to hire him? I think there was some crazy ass story like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
We're not going to be able to land on the boat, Captain. We'll just drop a rope down for him.
This week on Captain Odyssey, football assistant coach has to get back to the mainland.
It would be one of those storylines that would be unbelievable, right?
Would be, yes.
Anthony Davis, 32 years old. Better career, Anthony Davis or Sir Anthony Hopkins?
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Quick answer.
Knighted. Is Anthony Davis
okay,
knighted?
You go to that all the time.
If he was in England, he would be knighted.
Anytime there's a Sir, Tyler goes immediately to that. The guy is knighted.
Yeah, I think that's overrated.
I do too.
I would just tell you this, though.
How about his Oscars?
He does have 2 Oscars. But Anthony Davis has got, how many people have a national championship?
That's right.
And an NBA championship?
And a unibrow.
Not a lot.
All 3.
But I would say this.
But I would go Anthony Hopkins too.
If we're shooting 7 days in Sicily, I know Anthony Hopkins is going to show up for work 7 days.
Boom.
Anthony Davis would not be there for 7 days.
What was Silence of the Lambs? What was his next great work?
Oh, The Father.
The Father?
Yeah, I don't know if did you see The Father?
I haven't seen it.
So, he's got Alzheimer's and his performance in that, it was I think 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know. Is Melton here?
No,
not here yet.
Yeah, I think Melton would agree with me on this. His performance of The Father was insane.
I'm going to just say it. Anthony Hopkins a bit overrated based on Silence of the Lambs. No, I think
he was wonderful in The King and I. The King and I. Was he in that? I think he did that.
I'm just saying.
No, The King and I was Yul Brynner.
No, I think he did it on whatever.
On stage?
He probably did it on stage
version.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins does a lot of stage work.
That doesn't even factor.
How many people do you think have been knighted since 1952?
I'm going to say since 1952, 1,348.
I was going to go 787.
I thought it would have been more. It's 288.
Okay, a little more exclusive than we thought, Tyler.
Not that exclusive.
More than I thought, though.
Yeah, but
I said 1,300. It was 1,000.
John Williams, the guy that did Jaws and Star Wars and all that, he got knighted.
That's right. We're going to need a bigger sword. Yeah. All right. That is 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at ImageCraft. We appreciate them so much. And also our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. They bring you the viewing menu today when we're talking about great works of art, including Jaws. We'll see what Tyler is watching tonight, brought to you by our friends at Michelson.
Bob Hope, knighted or not?
I'm gonna say
knighted.
no.
Yeah, he is knighted.
Sir Bob Hope.
Oh, Kevin Spacey. You think they want to take that back?
Yeah, let's unsir that one.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, tonight we got a new documentary on Hulu called Last Take, Rust and the Story of Halnya. So this is a look at the life of Halnya Hutchins, who was the cinematographer of Rust, who unfortunately passed away during the filming of that movie when the gun on set went off.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate Alec Baldwin because of the politics and because of his demeanor, and a lot of things. Yeah. Very, very good actor. I don't know if he's ever going to recover. I mean, do you think we ever see him doing anything again?
I thought they were still going to release that movie. Did they ever release it?
They're planning on releasing it.
Boy, how did they do that?
That's tough there, man.
Of course, I want to see it now.
It's going to be tough to actually market it because I think a lot of its success will be from people having that morbid curiosity.
Got to change the name
where it happened.
I don't even know. I don't know though. If you stream it, it probably makes all its money back and then some.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. We'll see. 7 p.m. tonight on the Paramount Network. You got Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Fantastic.
I prefer Temple of Doom, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is great.
That's one of the most unbelievable things you've ever said.
Didn't hold up to me.
Yeah. Some people like steak. Some people like dog food. We understand. You like dog food.
Temple of Doom.
And on Max, you've got Heretic. This was a movie that came out last year. It stars Hugh Grant. Tim and I covered it for the Meltdown last year. And it centers around 2 missionaries going to a house and getting in this sort of cat and mouse game with the guy who lives there. And they're trapped in his house, and they've got to figure out how to escape.
It looks sinister. I wanted to see it. Leighton watched it, and she was like, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I know he was nominated for a Golden Globe for it, though.
Yeah, he's great in it. The third act is not what I wanted it to be. They went a different direction than how I would prefer it.
Okay.
Sir Jeeves just went third act on us there.
I noticed that. That was very highbrow.
Was it actually set up in acts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the third act. The third act.
I would assume that Hugh Grant is knighted.
Drop the curtain already. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think Hugh Grant is a sir. Hugh Grant.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
No movies last night for you?
Other than the mystery movie last night, which was Magazine Dreams. It's a movie that stars Jonathan Majors as an aspiring bodybuilder. And this movie was actually shelved a couple years ago because it was set to be released, but then Jonathan Majors' whole domestic violence case came out. And so Searchlight Pictures decided to sell off the rights quietly to it.
So how was it?
What's the name of it again?
Magazine Dreams.
Tyler's got a review out. He shared it in the chat room earlier.
Yes, I've got it in the links in the chat if you want to see it in full, and I'll also talk about it later on the Meltdown today. But it was a very uncomfortable movie because you have Jonathan Majors acting that way in real life, and then on screen you have him as this. It's like he's a mix between the perfectionist and also self-loathing aspects of Miles Teller and Whiplash, mixed with like the social skills of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then also mix that with Stan from the Eminem song.
Oh, wow.
He ate.
He's pretty disturbing.
To prepare for the role, Majors ate 6,100 calories a day for 4 months and trained for 6 hours every day to get his build for that movie.
He's yoked in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would assume that's what he's playing, right?
Yeah. I can't find where they shot it. I don't know how to find that. There was some movie that was shot in Birmingham that had to do with weightlifting, but that's not it. That's what Tyler's watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100 for more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
And Brownie, our friends at A+, Clay Travis coming up on the other side. We'll get back to what's going on with the Madness in March and talk more college football, too.
A+ can be found at alabamabathremodels.com, alabamabathremodels.com. Now, baths are not all they do, the master bath. You see a lot of it, though, on this show because it's what they did for me and Lance and so many of the others of you that are fans of this show, and we really appreciate appreciate you supporting Brad and his team there. They specialize, though, in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's their specialty. You can see more before and afters and find out about the financing options. Get them to come out and quote your job, and I promise you will not be disappointed. Here is Brad's number if you just want to call him, 205-422-1758, or shoot him a text, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That is AlabamaBathRemodels.com for A+. Clay Travis is next.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
When the clock hits 0, go to all Next Round video platforms for instant reactions for the latest Auburn and Alabama basketball games. Follow, like, subscribe, and set those alerts. The madness starts now, so be a part of it at Next Round Live on all social platforms.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, in your headlines earlier, Stephen Pearl is with us. He talked about what the coaching staff and Chad Baker-Mazzara talked about going into the postseason now. If you want to go back and catch that on our social media platform at Next Round Live. Also see the entire interview on our YouTube channel. Auburn is number 3 in the latest AP poll behind Duke in Houston. It's Duke's first time at number 1 since 2021. Florida's 4, Alabama's 5. SEC tournament later this week. Bruce Pearl's your SEC Coach of the Year. Janai Broom's your SEC Player of the Year. Mark Sears also on that first team All-SEC squad from Alabama there. Show brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Was talking to Leslie and her team yesterday about my weight loss and how they've helped me over the years. They can help you jumpstart it as well. Just go to the website, aplanforme.com. Best part, no contracts. No sign-up fees, and the first consultation is free. So you'll see if you're going to like it without even coming out of pocket for any money right there. That's what Leslie and her board-certified team will do for you. They've got meal replacement, protein bars, a variety of different ways, including injection therapy that can help you with your weight loss. It's a planforme.com, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick. You also see him on Fox at Clay Travis on social media. He is with us now from San Francisco, California, where last night he did something I think Dunaway is the only one on this panel to have done. Do you know what it is, Dunaway?
Watch every episode of Party of Five.
Not watch every episode of Party of Five, no.
He smoked a joint looking at the Golden Gate Bridge.
I don't know. You have to ask Clay that.
Clay does not smoke.
Clay does not smoke, and a joint is probably not on the rundown there. No, Clay, you took one of the driverless Ubers. It's not really Uber. It's driverless car, I guess. I don't even know the name of the company.
Yeah, I think Dunaway and I have done two things. I had dinner with Kamala last night, too, so I know. No, yeah. Look, I felt like, guys, I was in the future last night. My oldest son and I are out here. It's spring break. We've had an awesome time. And we were going out to dinner last night, and we had seen walking around in San Francisco these Waymo vehicles, which there's no driver, right? So you're a passenger in the back, and this is a Google-owned company in the city of San Francisco. I think they also have them in Phoenix, in L.A., and I think they're coming soon to Austin and Miami. And it's more affordable than an Uber. And you just download the app like you would Uber or Lyft or whatever else, and the vehicle just pulls up right on the side of just like a normal car would. And I really feel, I mean, this is, you want crazy prediction time. I feel like a generation from now, no one will drive cars anymore. I think we'll have fleets of autonomous vehicles. I mean, I say no one. Some people will be like committed to their old school vehicle, but I actually think it'll be more affordable for many people if you think about what you spend on a car, on gas, on insurance, on all of the different aspects of owning a car. I think you'll pay in to be a part of a fleet group of some sort. And I think you primarily will take cars everywhere. And I think it'll change the way cars are designed. You guys know, I mean, I'm sure you love it down there too. If you're in Nashville and you want to go to 30A, I think you'll schedule a trip at like 10 p.m. You know, you'll go to bed and you'll wake up and you'll be at the beach. I think that there will just be fleets of these cars everywhere. I really do. I felt like I'm not a huge tech guy because I think a lot of times we're being oversold the revolutionary nature of a new tech. But the analogy I made was, and I'm sure you guys remember this, about a generation ago, I remember my brother-in-law got an HD television. And I remember watching sports on it. And this was before I had a flat screen. And I remember thinking, this changes everything. Like, it is that much better. And there have been other things. People have been like, oh, you're going to love 3D or you're going to love virtual reality. And I tried it. And, you know, I just kind of trust my instincts on, hey, is this really transformative or not? And this one, I mean, truly, I feel like is. So I loved it. I understand some people are nervous about it. But, I mean, I think we're headed to the airport here in a couple of hours. And I think we'll take it to the airport to drop us off. I mean, we were both just kind of in awe of it. So I think it'll be everywhere. And over the next, 5 to 10 years, I think a lot of people will be using them. And I think a generation from now, way fewer people will drive. It's crazy. Nobody talks about it. You guys know how many people die I'm not talking about the horribly injured. Do you know how many people die in traffic accidents in America every year?
I would not know how to guess.
I would say over 250,000.
Is it our leading? Is that our leading cause of death? Is that our leading cause of death?
It's around 40,000 people.
Okay.
And I think in the future, how people are like, great grandpa broke his leg and then he died, and people are like, what else happened, right? Like, he broke his leg and then he got an infection and he died. Like, there's all these. If you talk to older people in your family, everybody's got something that is crazy that isn't very significant now that someone died of. I think a generation from now, the idea that you could be going to the grocery store and die in a traffic accident will seem as crazy as, grandpa got kicked in the head by a horse and died. I mean, I think that we can eliminate. And by the way, not only that, also all the pedestrians, because lots of people get hit. I'm not saying these things will be flawless, but I do think the AI vehicle nature of it will continue to iterate and get better and better to the point where it becomes very difficult for people to die in car accident. So I'm a huge optimist here this morning, as you guys regularly anticipate, based on the double, driverless car trips that we took last night.
Two things though, quickly on that. One, thank God they didn't have it 15 years ago, because early on, I think LT only kept Brown and me around was to drive to events and beaches and things like that on away trips. If we'd had driverless cars, he'd have punted us a long time ago. But on a day after that, we couldn't keep Twitter up for Adam Schefter for his head knock to explode in the free agency. You think we'll be able to keep the grid up on these things?
I think so. I mean, I'm not saying that there won't be some flaw, and maybe people keep a gas-powered, vehicle just to have as a security. I mean, they still have cars that are 80 years old driving around in Cuba. So, I'm sure that there will be people who have nostalgic for the experience of driving a car. But I do think, I've been thinking about it a lot. I mean, it's transformative because think about all of the space we waste for parking. A car doesn't just require a spot. Every car requires 4 spots, right? You need it at the grocery store. You need it at the football stadium. You need it at your house. We waste, I don't know, 20% probably or more of a city and of a community's overall developable space that could otherwise be greenery or parks or more housing or whatever it is. Just to provide opportunities for people to be able to park. And look, I mean, it's already, I think, driven down the rate as well. But, if you go out to dinner, or I take Ubers everywhere at this point, because if I'm going to have a beer or two, I don't want to have to worry about ending up on the front page of a newspaper because I get pulled over I was probably jinxing myself, but because I get pulled over for a DUI. I just think it ends up being way safer for the vast majority of people. And in theory, all of the money that we spend on car insurance and those rates that keep going up and what it costs for vehicles and everything else. I mean, when you start to limit the number of accidents, because I told you 40,000 people die in them roughly every year, you start to limit the number of car accidents, then all of our costs associated with vehicle transportation just come down in a major way.
So, Clay, I've never been to San Francisco, so I've never been to Alcatraz. If I ever go to San Francisco, first thing I'm going to do is go to Alcatraz. I know you went a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you ever saw documentary, the movie Escape from Alcatraz, Frank Morris, the Anglin brothers. They never found the bodies. Some people believe they made the swim. When you were at Alcatraz, do you think somebody could actually make that swim and actually escape Alcatraz?
Not a chance.
So a couple of things. One, do you know what we watched last night, my son and I, The Rock? Do you remember The Rock?
Oh, yeah. Underrated movie.
I didn't really like it.
It gets killed, but I kind of like it.
He really liked it. I didn't remember. It came out in 1996. Yep. So I thought it was really good. We watched it. It was on demand here, I guess, in the hotel. Like brilliant staging for them to think. I couldn't believe it. Probably the first person to pay for The Rock on pay-per-view in 20 years. But we watched that last night. It was really good. So, first of all, they have, I'm pretty sure, one of you can Google it. I'm pretty sure Riley Gaines swam from Alcatraz to the beach. Riley is at Outkick. I feel like I remember seeing this. They have a yearly swim now from Alcatraz to the beach, to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. And hundreds of people all do it. Now, she is a former college swimmer, but I feel like this is going to totally jinx me. I'm not a great swimmer. I feel like I could make it. I feel like I would be able to.
Dunaway,
I could do it.
Dunaway and I had lunch overlooking that bay back in 20.
Very romantic.
That does sound romantic, bro.
Yes. And we were.
Was the sun setting?
It was a It was a stormy day that day. I was blown away at how choppy and turbulent those waters were.
Yeah. And forget the sharks.
Yeah, and those waters have to be extremely cold. Now, you're talking about Riley Gaines, who was a former collegiate swimmer, and she swam with some Navy SEALs and combat veterans. I believe they could make it. But if I've been in prison any amount of time and all I'm jumping in is in my jumpsuit or my underwear,
or if I was a pampered media member,
yeah, no way I can do it. No way.
I don't know about the temperature.
It's got to be cold.
I was actually talking about this with my son. That actually scares me, is the hypothermia aspect. So I think you would need to be I think she was in a wetsuit.
I believe so. Yeah.
Don't have that at Alcatraz. They're not going to hand those out.
Do not have a lot of wetsuits. And by the way, when the guys potentially escaped, they also did not have even the concept of a wetsuit, right? So I would like to think they made it. My son, we were talking about it, said that he thinks they made it. It's a much better story, obviously, if they escaped and got away and did not drown.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? We pull for the criminals.
I hope they made it.
Hope he lived a healthy, happy life.
I don't think those guys, you can look up what they did. I don't feel like they were serial killers. I feel like they were bank robbers.
I think it was white-collar crime.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think they could have rehabilitated and had great lives, and hopefully had fabulous families and everything else instead of getting eaten by sharks in the bay.
Yeah, let's hope that is how it turned out. Now the claim positions it that way. So we're coming to your city, as they say on game day.
Wow.
What?
Big and rich.
Well, we are. We're coming to Nashville.
Used to be. They took away that song, but yes, John Rich, a good buddy of mine.
Yeah. So we'll be in Nashville. Do you have a prediction on the SEC basketball tournament? It's as wide open as it's ever been, it seems.
I feel like Auburn is going to right the ship. I don't think their draw is awful. If you guys correct me, I don't have the bracket in front of me, but I feel like they're
Ole Miss, Tennessee, and then either Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, or Missouri. That would be their.
Yeah, I feel like the other side of the bracket is tougher than the Auburn, Tennessee side of the bracket. I think Tennessee and Auburn, in theory, will have a war on Saturday, and the final score will be 62-61, right? Kind of like the game we saw on the Plains, defensive battle. I like Auburn's chances to win that one. And then I think coming out of the other side of the bracket, I think it's going to be Florida or Alabama. And for whatever reason, that game's going to be the exact opposite, right? The winning team might have to score 100. It should be a up and down contest. And then I think Auburn rights the ship. Look, they've been the most challenged team all year. I know they laid an egg against Texas A&M. The game against Alabama was just a really good game. Could have gone either way. And so I think they start to right the ship. And I think they should be the favorites going into the NCAA tournament. Doesn't mean they're going to win, because we were talking about It's a bit arbitrary who wins 6 games in a row. But I think it's going to be the best conference basketball tournament, and this is not hyperbole, ever. There's a legit 13 or 14 teams, depending on how the tournament goes, that could play their way in. And I know technically South Carolina or LSU could win the thing and get an automatic bid. But I'm talking about regular season. There's a legit 13 or 14 teams that feel like, hey, if we win a couple of games, we can punch our ticket. We've never seen that before. I think 11 is the most that have ever made it from one conference before. And to say nothing of the fact you guys are just running through the top 6 or 7 teams. I mean, there's at least 4 teams still in the SEC in the top 6 or 7. So the top end is pretty incredible as well.
Do you have a question?
I did have a question. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Yeah. I know what I was going to ask you, Clay. Stephen A. and LeBron. What happened with those two?
I think LeBron, and look, I've got 3 kids, so it seems that LeBron, who I believe also has 3 kids, has been a pretty good dad. But I think that he made a poor choice when he strong-armed Bronny James into the NBA. He has no business in the league. I'm not sure that he would be a top 50 player in college basketball this year if he had come back. And sometimes when you do things like that, it seems like as a result, he knows that Bronny is not an NBA player right now. And I think as a result, he's got rabbit ears. Always has been very sensitive, LeBron has, I think, to criticism. But I think in particular, he has got rabbit ears when it comes to any criticism of Bronny James. And I think the overreaction from him is indicative of the fact that he knows that his son doesn't belong in the NBA. And so whenever it's pointed out, I mean, look, when you're a pro athlete, you are going to be critiqued by fans and media members every single day. Heck, when you're a major college athlete, that's part of the process of being an elite athlete that a lot of people watch play. And to my knowledge, I have not heard criticism that to me has felt unfair. When you put your son on that stage and you elevate him to that pedestal, and most of us are of the opinion that if Bronny James's name was, Jimmy Jones, there's no way that he ends up in the NBA. If he has the exact same pedigree, meaning exact same records and height and athletic ability, I'm not sure that he's even playing at a super major college as a result. I mean, the guy's 6'1". The number of NBA players that are under 6'4" is tiny in the first place. And usually when you're one of those guys, you have to be an elite point guard or a shooter, scorer, distributor, and Bronny isn't that. And so maybe 3 years from now he might be, and he could have fought his way into the league. But I think LeBron wanted the story of, hey, I'm playing with my son, and I think he strong-armed him into the league. And I haven't heard Stephen A. Or any other national prognosticator or pundit that I think has been unfair, like attacking LeBron's, parenting or something. His son's not very good at basketball relative to the rest of the NBA, and he doesn't belong there. And I think most honest sports fans feel the same way, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than analyzing that overall talent.
All right, he is Clay Travis at Clay Travis on social media, and you can also see him on Fox, and he is the founder of Outkick with us on the Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline. Thank you very much for the time, Clay. Enjoy safe travels back. Enjoy the rest of the stay.
Will do. Appreciate you all. Have fun in Nashville. Should be a good time.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Clay with us on the Shannara Hotline. By the way, there is a theory I don't believe in, that before the solar flares, 15,000 years ago, society was up to our technological level today, and the solar flare ended that. I don't believe that theory, but there is a theory out there that's
set it back.
Well, it wiped out all the technology and civilization, to a certain extent, and we had to grow it back. Again, I don't believe this.
I have never heard this.
Yeah, that's a theory that floats around out there.
Yeah, our show brought to you by our friend
12,500 years ago, I think.
12,500, is it?
I believe that's
Jeez. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. Dr. B brings us the show here. Tell us about Dr. B, man.
Yeah, hey, look, if you start losing your hair, whether it's your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. When it started to happen to me, I asked around, and everybody said call Dr. B. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic reconstructive procedures. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. Hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3 has that new test that is so easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they can use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical form. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and that great staff. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, trying to keep you on top of your health. It's so important, guys. Early detection can literally save your life, and that's what Urology Centers of Alabama can do. From kidney stones to the more severe prostate health, if that goes in the wrong direction, everything in between, they'll take care of you. 16 locations, one near you. Find that closest one, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com, 205-930-0920. Vasectomies as well, they'll take care of you guys. It's the great folks at urologycentersalabama.com. Just out of curiosity, what made you think of the solar flares?
Clay was talking about how we will one day, I'll tell you what made me think of it. He was talking about how one day we'll all have driverless cars, and you pointed out we couldn't even keep Twitter online yesterday, and it made me think of what mess would we be in if the solar flares hit again, because there's a cycle of these things. I don't know. Tyler may know how long the cycle is between solar flares. They think, I mean, you don't have to look it up. It's
so what you're saying is
years.
Society was as technical as we were before these solar flares.
That's a theory that is out there.
And how long ago was this supposed to be?
Well, like 12,000 years ago.
Yeah, the only thing I would ask is, like, I mean, we know civilization as it is right now. I mean, just over the last 20 or 30 years, we've advanced more than we have in the civilization of history, right? Or the history of civilization.
The history that we know of, yeah.
But if I'm a believer in the Bible, how does that line up?
Well, it depends on when you believe. I would say it depends on how strictly you believe the account of the days of creation in comparison to what we now consider a day.
Right.
So in other words, a lot of people, and I am a believer in the biblical creation, okay,
right,
in the biblical account. But when it says a day, we often think, okay, well, that's a 24-hour period. Well, that might not have been the case. For instance, all of that was being set into place. So, the sun was created, and then planets were created, and, then they started in motion. So
the timeline could be off.
Yeah.
Well, the timeline could be off by our accounts, because what we think of a day is a 24-hour period. That has not always been a day historically, by the way. And the people, and what you have to remember about biblical history is so much of it was oral history passed down from generation to generation. And then at some point, people are like, we really should write this down.
Right.
Oral history was the go-to back in ancient times. I mean, that was the most reliable form of historical.
So see, there are things that we take literally in the Bible, and then there are some things that we use broad thinking to think, okay, a day is not 24 hours, it's this or that. It's gets a little confusing. I just assume that because of my Bible teachings that it all began in the Garden of Eden.
I agree.
And it hasn't ended yet,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah. That one I can definitely confirm.
Yeah. So the solar flare thing.
That's why I don't believe it.
Seemed like somewhere along the way it would have been documented somewhere between Deuteronomy and Leviticus or any of that stuff, right? I feel like if that had really happened, then it would have we would have a prophet talking about that somewhere.
Maybe it was part of the Great Flood. You never know.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. When we come back, I've got 10 college football coaches that were born in the 1980s, which if you're my age, that seems ridiculous. But I'm gonna get you to write 1 to 10 on your dry erase board, and we'll blind rank these. And I will tell you right now, don't save a space for Kenny Dillingham.
How old is he?
He was born in 1990.
Are you kidding me? We got a coach that was born in the 90s.
1990.
Out there coaching in the playoffs.
A good one, by the way, a good one. So these are 10 guys from the 1980s, and I will just go in the order of the year they were born, and I want you to rank them on who's the best, who's the 10th, and we'll do that when we come back. Talk a little bit more college football. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. They bring you the lock every day. Hemp Hill, name we've trusted. What's the year? 1954?
1954, 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round.
Before we get to the spotlight, show being brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. We talked about Delaware and UNC Wilmington tonight for a bid. Also automatic bid tonight, but both teams going. Gonzaga and St. Mary's again. And both of those teams are going to end up falling somewhere between 7 and 10 on the seed line.
And you don't want to see those, you're saying?
And if you're a 1 and 2 seed, you don't want to see them. UConn's going to fall there. Just a nasty. In fact, before you tell us about MyBookie, Forrester, can you give me that field of 68 bracket? I want to show you what I'm talking about here, because the Gonzaga and St. Mary's will play tonight. Their styles, their talent, their history. UConn they're like 9 losses. This is the latest bracketology from the field of 68. With Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida as the 1 seeds. Alabama, Tennessee, Michigan State, and St. John all on the 2 line. So you play out the wins in the South. Auburn would get the winner of Gonzaga, New Mexico.
You say.
Duke would get the winner of Mississippi State and Creighton. That Mississippi State-Duke game, I would pay money to see it and laugh my ass off until next tip-off season if Mississippi State beat Duke. After all this talk all year long.
That would be pretty funny if a SEC team beat them in their first chance.
Didn't Duke play an SEC team earlier this year?
They did. Lance, they did.
Houston would get the winner of UConn, Georgia. How about Georgia being on the 9 line? They've been hot lately.
Hey, they're going to bump up to an 8 after winning this tournament.
Florida would get the winner of Louisville and Utah State. And then down on the 2 line, Bama would get the winner of Marquette and Baylor. How good is Marquette on the 7 line in Baylor there? St. John's would get Illinois or Vandy. Tennessee would get BYU or Arkansas. And then Michigan State would get Missouri or West Virginia. I mean, you tell me, in the same region, Michigan State winner Missouri, West Virginia, or Auburn winner of Gonzaga, New Mexico. I'd rather be the 2 in that region than what Auburn would have to play. If that's what it ended up being from the field of 68.
We did that the other day. Would you rather be the 2 or the 1?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I think we said the 2.
I mean, you tell me, Michigan State, would you rather play Missouri, West Virginia winner, or if you're Auburn, the Gonzaga, New Mexico winner?
Well, I mean, a week and a half ago, you would have said Gonzaga, New Mexico, because Missouri was that team you didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this goes back and forth. If Gonzaga, as a favorite tonight, beats St. Mary's, then I think some people are going to be like, watch it. The Zags are peaking at the right time.
Yeah. Where is St. Mary's, by the way? Are they on the 6th line?
They're probably on the 6 or 7. No, they're on the 5.
They're on the 5.
Oh, 5-12.
Yeah, see, there's too much love for them
Who's
now.
their 12? Who's their 12? That's 5-12 upset.
Xavier, Ohio State playing.
Yep.
Oh, and the committee, little Xavier, Ohio State.
Yep.
Yeah, how about
they don't
that?
mess around, do they?
Yeah.
All right, mybookie.ag, where you'll be able to play all those games if they're more than just theoretical, as they currently are. Dunaway tonight is all over the Blue Hens at Delaware. He's basically Joe Flacco right now.
No, he likes the other side.
Dunaway is
no matter what the points.
all over UNC Wilmington Seahawks.
No matter what the points are.
He hates Joe Flacco right now.
You can't win 5 games in a row after losing 11 of 12.
8.5 is what the point spread is right now at mybookie.ag. So use that information as you see fit. That's where Dunaway is. All right, right now, mybookie.ag, as the tournaments roll around, you can sign up, and we're going to give you a great sign-up bonus from our buddies at MyBookie. They're going to give you a 50% sign-up bonus up to $1,000, 50% up to $1,000, and on top of that, a $10 casino chip. You can go play free right there in the casino with $10 from mybookie.ag. That is when you use code NEXTROUND. So both Sportsbook, 50% sign-up bonus up to $1,000, or that $10 casino chip. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented by Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys.
You talk a lot.
I do, man. That Brown, he talks too much on the show, is what they say sometimes, Jim. They're headquartered in Birmingham. In 24 years, they've grown from more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members who have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander Shinara's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case.
And our friends at Alabama. I'm kidding. Okay, I got 10 coaches born in the 80s. Do not save a place for Kenny Dillingham, 1990. I'm just going to start with who was born the furthest to go and go through the list.
Are we doing 10 or 6?
10 of them. Rank them 1 to 10.
Dang,
so give me a number.
I don't have
1
enough
through
room.
10.
Okay, so do we have to plug them in immediately?
Yeah.
This is the old blind ranking.
This is the Instagram trend, the stories or TikTok, wherever you get those. Let me know when you have 10 on the board. Again, these are college football coaches born on the 80. One would be the best coach.
Okay.
I guess in his 40s is what this is.
Gotcha.
And then down to the least. And at 1981, we get Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell, 1981. Where do you put him on 1 to 10?
I'm going to put him 9th.
I'm putting him 9th, too.
I'm holding a spot for somebody that's, I don't know, but I got him number 9 right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm right there with you at number 9.
Yeah.
Okay. No copying off of each other's whiteboard.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dunaway.
Also in 1981, we find Clark Lee of Vanderbilt.
I mean, it's just an impossible job to really get a good gauge grade from.
Yeah, I went 8.
I was going 8 too.
I'm not copying.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him in front of Norvell. That's going to be degree of difficulty. I think if you'd given Clark Lee Florida State,
Clark
he'd
Lee
have done
shouldn't
better.
be on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was born in the 80s.
I'm sure there was more that were born in the 80s. We should have bumped him.
I don't know. I don't know if there was. 1982, John Sumrall, Tulane.
Oh, we are so biased towards this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to put him at 5, though.
I was going to put him at 5. I swear I was. No
I just want to use one dry erase board.
Well, I don't have enough room on mine.
I've got him at 5.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call it. We'll call him Summy because I don't have room for Summerall, so we're going to name him Most Summy.
He is a J-O-N, though, right?
He's a J-O-N.
Yeah,
John Summerall. You got that right.
Yeah, just like my buddy John Barton when I was growing up.
How about that? Probably thousands of others, too. But yes.
Not a lot of J-O-Ns.
Yeah, why do you drop that H? I don't care either
know.
way, but
yeah. Does anybody ever go Johne?
What is Furman?
That's how Furman calls it.
Janae.
Yeah,
It's Janae.
He's never gotten it right.
He never gets it right.
Well, it was Johnny to start with Johnny Broom.
I like Johnny Broom.
Oh, Johnny Broom. That's my favorite.
Fran Brown, 1982. Syracuse, Fran Brown.
This is tough. I'm going to put him 7th, Lance. I'll go first.
There's a lot of good coaches in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm putting him 6th. I think Fran Brown has got a ton of upside. What he did year 1 at Syracuse, obviously a disciple of Kirby Smart. I've got him at number 6, but, 1 year, it's just hard to get a sample out of that, or a good sample size.
Did you differ on that one?
I went 7. Where'd you go?
I went 6.
Yeah, we're saving our top 5.
1983. Lincoln Riley, still young, man. Lincoln Riley could have another whole coaching life. Will the second chapter be as good as the first chapter for Lincoln Riley?
I've got him at number 3. And look,
I was going to put him 2.
He has done so much, and I know the USC tenure has not been good. Year 1 was really good, though. I mean, they won 11 games. Heisman Trophy winner in Caleb Williams, and it's tailed off the last couple of years, but I still think there is a chapter unwritten for Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I'm going to go Riley.
How about you got him higher than me?
I do, and I'm probably going to regret that. I think I know who I've got at number 1. I'm just waiting for Dunaway to say the name. So, I mean, Lincoln Riley's an accomplished coach. Guy's coached in more playoffs than all these guys combined so far.
I can't believe I'm going to have Dan Lanning in front of Lincoln Riley.
That's who I'm holding.
Don't look ahead in the script. You don't know if he was born in the 80s or not. Eli Drinkwitz, 1983. Eli Drinkwitz.
Oh, man.
I'm going to put him 10th.
I'm putting him 7th.
10th? Yeah.
How?
Well, I mean, Mike Norvell's coached for a national championship. What has Drink done?
Wait, Mike Norvell coached for a national championship?
He should have coached for a national championship.
Well, he would have had to
Did he
win
make
a
the
game.
playoffs,
Well, his quarterback got hurt. That's not his fault. So
I'm
going to
give him the semifinal win?
Yeah, probably so.
They'd have beat Michigan?
I'm going Eli 7. I mean, he's done
quarterback.
more than we ever thought he would do at a really difficult job.
No, I don't like this guy, so it's going to factor into me putting him
apparently,
10.
you've got him at 10.
Yeah, I think it's well understood I don't like Drinkwitz, so I got him at 10.
You guys ever paint yourself into a corner?
Well, yes, right now.
1983, Rhett Lashley, Southern Methodist University.
I'm going to put him 6. That's the lowest number I've got left. He has coached in a college football playoff, not for a national championship.
I'm going Rhett at 10. And I like Rhett, but I have painted myself in a little bit of a corner here. Now, I don't know who I would have Lee and Norvell behind him. Drinkwitz maybe.
Yeah.
I can't put him as high as 4, though. I got him at 10. He has been to a college football playoff. Should have won the ACC.
How many spots you guys have left? 3.
Yep.
Okay. 1986.
This better be a good name.
Dan Lanning.
That's what I'm holding number 1 for.
I am going number 4.
Lanning. Oh, you're not going to have three better coaches than Dan Lanning on this list.
My man's playing chess over here with your checkers.
Lanning. Who else we got? I mean, who else is young and up and coming?
1986, Marcus Freeman.
I'll have Lanning in front of Freeman and be fine with it.
Oh, do I go 2 or 1 here, though?
We fell in love with Freeman this one year, and I like Marcus Freeman. I'm putting him third. I'm okay with having Lincoln Riley and Dan Lanning in front of Marcus Freeman. You smirked to me as you read his name. Lincoln Riley is more accomplished than Mark Freeman, also Marcus Freeman.
But let me ask you this. Would you buy stock on Freeman in front of those guys?
Dan Lanning is not going. I would buy more stock in Lanning than Riley. Dan Lanning's not going anywhere at Oregon. That is going to be a machine now. Will they ever win a national championship there? I do not know.
I got Freeman too.
The last guy who you could have told me he was born in 1976, and I would have said, yeah, okay.
All right.
I believe that.
Mike Elko?
No. Sharon Moore, 1986. Does he not look older?
Damn.
I cannot believe I've got to put him at number 4.
I got to put him at 1.
Did you see? My man playing chess over here just got checkmated.
I did.
That was when I thought he was going to put Freeman 1 and Lanning 2.
Yeah. I mean, if I could change anything, I'd have Sharon Moore right down here at number 10.
Yeah, I would too.
And then I'd bump Drink up to 9, and everybody else goes up a spot.
Yeah. That one killed me.
Yeah. I mean, did you think 1986? I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, because I remember him playing in Oklahoma. That's about right.
Yeah. No, I thought he was older, man. Damn. Dillingham in 1990, and I'm sure there were other 80s out there, but none that I think would make that top 10.
If we flip this first to get fired, I think I might have it right at number 1.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, you okay.
No, seriously. I mean, if you went for, first coach to get fired, it's...
Who ended better than Sharon Moore last year, beat Ohio State and Alabama.
I still would put him number 1 on this list, and then I would probably go Mike Norvell, and then probably Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Those guys in the 80s and Dillingham in 1990 now. That's the next great frontier of young coaches coming up. That's our Spotlight today, Brownie, brought to you by our friend Alexander Shannara, trial attorney.
That is correct, Jimmy D. You know that they've handled personal injury claims, but now also claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of others. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case.
And our friend at New York Butcher Shop. New York Butcher, a great place to go by for lunch today even.
Yeah, hey, you can pick up the huge deli sandwich. Go out there, enjoy this weather, sit outside on one of those patio tables. 2 locations, Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Not only that, you can pick up the fresh steaks, ribs, chicken right there on your way home from the great staff of butchers there, the incredible specialty items, the side dishes prepared in-house, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. Rare quality, well-done service, New York Butcher Shop.
You know, we get caught up sometimes with a story that impacts us here locally that we miss the forest for the tree or the trees for the forest, whichever way that works. When they announced Auburn Baylor on Friday, the big picture was that the Big 12 moved 10 games to Friday nights. Not just Auburn Baylor. They moved 10 games to Friday nights. They're trying to own that Friday night Fox window, FS1 window on Friday nights for the Big 12. Same day as Auburn Baylor, you get Georgia Tech at Colorado, a game we have focused on before. That's a good game. Both of those on August 29th.
So they moved that off Saturday as well. I missed that.
That was part of the Friday move. So I would assume we get Auburn Baylor, Georgia Tech, Colorado back-to-back on Friday night. It's a good Friday night.
So what would you imagine, Jim, from TV terms, your Auburn Baylor kick time is?
I would put that at 6 o'clock.
6 Central, and then they're going to say 9 Central, but
yeah,
6. Georgia Tech, Colorado, you'll pick it up mid-first quarter if they kick at 9 Central.
I would say 6 and 9 Central time, if I had to guess. September 12th, they move Colorado, Houston, and Kansas State, Arizona to Friday night. Another Big 12 doubleheader for you. September 19th, sucks Tulsa, Oklahoma State. But then a few other good games down the stretch. September 26th, TCU, Arizona State, and Tempe on a Friday night.
Interesting.
Could have meaning in the Big 12 this year. October 3rd, West Virginia in Provo against BYU. Good football game. Rich Rod and Sataki head-to-head there with a great background.
I'll take BYU right now.
You know, they'll be favored there. Don't discount Rich Rod.
I do think the Big 12 is going to be so topsy-turvy years to come. You know, back to TCU. You know, Sonny Dykes finally probably getting some heat this year if they have a down year.
Yep. Houston and UCF's a November 7th game, and then 2 Black Friday games on November 28th, Arizona State, and Utah and Kansas on Black Friday for the Big 12. So they're trying to move and grab that Friday spotlight there. Back to basketball we go now as we get ready for the SEC tournament. Bubble watch for the SEC and what has to happen. Can Texas still get in? Do
you want to go by Lenardi's latest? I know you were just showing field of 64, but they're just doing the field.
When's the latest Lenardi update?
It was early this morning. Joe's doing what we've always wanted him to do now. He updated this at 1:44 a.m. Eastern time.
I think it is.
Can Texas get in?
I think it is a long shot. Now, obviously, they got to beat Vanderbilt. Then they would have to beat A&M. I don't know if they would have to beat Tennessee. If you win 3, I think they would be in. 2 might get them in, but you have to at least win 2 in this.
Let me ask you this. If Texas beats Vandy, does all of a sudden, are you worried about Vandy
a little
getting
bit,
in?
yeah.
Because they've been taking on water a bit.
Now, Lenardi has them as an 11 seed right now. So
they have who, Vandy?
Vandy is an 11, yeah.
So that's Dayton?
No, not even an 11 in Dayton. No.
Okay.
His 11 seed Dayton teams are Oklahoma and Indiana. Now, that might drop them to that, but not right now.
I thought all 11s were in Dayton. No,
you
there's
got 2 11s and 2 12s.
Oh, 2 12s.
Yeah, 2 11s, 2 12s.
Yeah, I still think Vanderbilt at 8-10 in the regular season gets in, but this would be 3 consecutive losses.
Yeah, that worries me there.
Now, Texas is 3rd among the first 4 out, and I don't know. I mean, that's hard to climb that ladder in Lenardi's terms if that's where they really are. They are behind.
Safe to say they need to make a run in Nashville.
I would think 1 win probably wouldn't just do it.
LT says 2 gets them in the conversation. 3 may get them there.
And 2 things. It depends on who you got to jump at the first 4 out, and somebody's got to move from the last 4 in for you. And right now, those play-in games, the last 4 in are Oklahoma, Indiana, and Xavier, Ohio State. So if that's really the way it's shaking out right now, you're going to need one of those teams out of the way. And on top of that, for Texas, they're behind North Carolina and Boise State.
North Carolina, by the way, quad 1 wins. I think I saw this. They're 1-11.
I don't think they're getting in
quad 1 games. They're 1-11. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull the net up right now and tell you. North Carolina, I'm going to have to.
There, Scotty has already pulled this.
That's Lenardi. To find the quad 1 for North Carolina, Jim, I'm going to have to dig deeper than you might imagine in years past for North Carolina. They are 40th in the net. They are 1-11 in quad 1s.
Yeah, that hurts you.
How does that get you in?
That hurts you.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. And I don't know who they play early on in their tournament. But I don't know.
They've got the winner of Notre Dame and Pitt,
which plays today.
I don't believe that's going to have to be a top 50 for that to even be a quad 1 game for you.
No, they're much like Texas. They're going to have to win multiple games in the ACC tournament.
So for Oklahoma, they played red-hot Georgia, LT's Cinderella team for the SEC tournament, the very first day coming up tomorrow in Nashville.
I haven't seen this number. I would list Georgia as a 1.5-point favorite. Now, both of these teams have become kind of desperate. Like, I think Georgia is in 8-10 in conference. But
we Field 68 had them as a 9.
Yeah.
That's up there.
Vandy is a 2-point favorite over Texas, and Georgia, if you'll give me 2 seconds, Georgia's a 3-point favorite over Oklahoma. Is that about what you thought?
I said 1.5.
1.5, yeah. Georgia, 3-point favorite.
I mean, Georgia did have 2 4-game losing streaks this year. 2 separate ones.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
It's the weird part of the SEC.
But they've also got that win over Florida. And
feels like Oklahoma could use a win over Georgia on Wednesday.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. I think Oklahoma loses. They're out.
And then what about Arkansas, where John Calipari said the SEC tournament's not important to us. It's about us doing what we need to do. Whatever that means. They play South Carolina, and then if they win that one, they play Ole Miss. Feels like they definitely need to beat South Carolina.
Yeah.
Could still get in without them.
I've got a feeling they're going to beat South Carolina and then beat Ole Miss, and then I think that puts them in.
And then they'll play Auburn as a team that played Auburn pretty good at Neville earlier this year. So that's where the SEC is. Anywhere from 11 to 14 bids on the line, technically. Hard to see them getting all the way to 14.
It's crazy. Lenardi's got 13 in from the SEC, and he's got 10 in from the Big Ten. Any other year, people would be going crazy over the Big Ten with 10 and be like, could they get one more in? They don't really have anybody that's close on the bubble, but could they get one more in and make it 11 and tie? And nobody's even talking about them getting 10 in.
You know, we talk about the SEC and the Big Ten and what it's going to look like with the automatic bids they're going to get in the college football playoff moving forward. But if those numbers are correct, 23 of 68, I mean, you've got a third of the field from 2 conferences.
You do. And you know, part of it is UCLA, who is in this thing, is now a Big Ten team. I mean, that was not a Big Ten team, obviously, you know, just very short time ago. So with more teams, you're going to get more teams in.
We have a special guest coming up at the top of the hour for the final hour of the show, but I got one more thing here that you've got to see. And if you want to see better, you need to talk to our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100, the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100 for more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Okay, listen, man. Everybody's got to make a living in this world.
That's right.
But I'm always amazed at some stupid ideas people come up with and get paid for it from big organizations. Because a lot of you out there work your butts off for less money than whoever came up with this idea probably made from Major League Baseball. But they did a series of hats called the overlap hat. Here they all are. So basically you have a saying like the Rays in big letters, and then they throw the Tampa Bay logo over it. Blue Jays, and then the Blue Jay logo over it, overlapping. Orioles with the Oreo. Well, when you don't think this stuff out, you end up with what we had with Texas. It spells out Texas in big letters, and then they throw the Texas logo, which is a T, over it. And using the Spanish pronunciation there of tatas.
I mean, it'll be a popular hat.
Tatas,
yeah.
Which in Spanish, Brownie, you didn't get the degree, and
I didn't make it that far.
I flunked it several times. I think that translates into boobs.
Yeah, you can figure that out.
Yeah. I actually, the show is going to love this. I did not know that was the Spanish word. Is that the Spanish word for breast? Really, tatas?
I think so.
I thought it was just what people called them.
Yeah.
Is that really the Spanish word for breast?
I don't know, but
I'm going to look
when
it up.
when I'm bilingual, I often say tatas. And that's what it ended up on that hat. That's the legit hat that was at MLB.com. It makes no sense. There were others. Forrester, is that correct? What do you have? Give me.
That is, by the way, not Spanish for breast. Spanish for breast is senos, senos.
Yeah,
well, it's just a slang word.
It's a slang word. Yeah,
I would have bought it though.
But nonetheless,
some people are senos, some people are benos, some people are dinos.
By the way, Anaheim very close to the anals.
Yes, the
very
Angels
close.
Logo right there.
Yeah,
covers the G up, and you get the anals.
Yeah. I mean, you almost get the exact spelling, if not for a piece of the E.
If you're redneck Spanish, that's Añels.
And you got some rings there, too.
You do have some rings.
Yes, slants. Yes. Those are halos.
The Astros was pretty bad, too. I don't know if we have that one, but it said Astros, and then you covered up the T, and that one ended up looking like
Did they not?
Ash hose.
Did they not get like a final proof of these so they could say, yeah, let's print those?
They've pulled down a lot of these, including the Tatas one. But they're out there somewhere. And I'm sure if they end up not selling them, they're going to ship them off to some third world country where those hats will be rolling around there.
Those are bad hats.
Those are bad hats.
Yeah, that's just I don't know who came up with this idea. That's a bad idea.
There's the ash hose.
The ash hose.
That's so bad.
Is that not horrible?
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, there's no way they didn't know what they were doing.
The ash.
So this whole collection has to be because like somebody thought of one good one, like for Chicago or something.
Do the whole league now, Ernie.
Let's just do the whole thing, and then they didn't check any of them.
Yeah. Just do we need to look at them first? No, just tell New Era to go ahead and stitch those babies up. We'll get them in the store as quick as we can.
And somebody got paid for that, and maybe fired from that. All right. When we come back, we get ready for a big musical event coming to town. We'll tell you about that on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Alabama Power. Brownie, stay connected.
Yes, sir. Jimmy D with our friends at Alabama Power. And they've got some great tools, not only to help you stay connected, but to help you save while you stay connected. At Alabama Power, you always want to remember the website to find out more, alabamapower.com/myusage. With crazy weather, you need to check out Alabama Power's free My Power usage tool. It helps you track how much energy you're using and when, and it's a great way to spot patterns and avoid surprises in your bill. Plus, Alabama Power offers easy tips to help you save. Visit alabamapower.com/mypowerusage to learn more how to manage your usage and keep your cost in check with Alabama Power.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representations made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. There's no off-season at covercrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at covercrimson.com.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com. Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representations made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light. is on now.
All right, final hour of the show, always brought to you by the wonderful folks at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. That's where Sterling is. He's got live music occasionally, more on live music in a second. But also great food all the time. Open for lunch about 4 minutes ago. Open every day for lunch, dinner. Great to go to watch the March Madness coming up soon. That Mississippi Delta recipe tamale with a little heat to it. So much more right there at champyschicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster.
We did it last year. We're doing it again. Singer-songwriter, guitarist Damon Johnson, Brother Kane, Leonard Skinner, Alice Cooper. He is going to be not only in our Fair City next week performing live at Iron City, but he's in studio with us, and he's going to perform live today. Damon, always great to have you in studio. Welcome back.
Fellas, thank you so much. This is it's a treat. It's a treat for me. Thank you for having me on.
Because I know you're more known as a guitarist, but you are a vocalist. And I had a meeting with a client. It was last August, and we were talking about concerts. And he brought up that Aerosmith had just retired that day. And I was pissed off because there's certain acts that I wanted to see that I didn't get to see, and Aerosmith was one of those.
Wow.
I have seen a lot of concerts. But as a musician, is that something you fear? Like, you know, if you're a insurance agent, you probably can work until the day you die.
Yeah.
But being like a musician, it's a little more difficult. You got to have your voice. You gotta have your physical skills.
I mean, Lance, that's a big subject right there, you know, and I guess all I can do really is speak for myself. I feel like, you know, obviously playing guitar, unless I have some physical impairment, I can probably do that into my 80s, if, you know. I'm also pretty lucky to be able to sing somewhat. I've always kind of deferred to saying I'm a guitar player that sings rather than a singer that plays guitar. There's a distinction. You know, I have a decent enough voice that I can communicate, I can perform, I can tell stories, you know, or whatever. But yeah, man, I've never thought about a musician and an insurance agent.
Well, there's a mortality with musicians.
But no, listen,
I say that, but Willie Nelson's 91 and he's doing Capital One commercials right now.
Listen, man, I just saw my old buddy Rick Carter from Telluride this morning, and we were talking about it. I mean, Rick is 71. He's like, man, I'm doing this until I can't breathe air anymore. And I think most all of us feel that way. Listen, I'm so fortunate to be a part of Leonard Skinner now, and you know, our other guitar player Ricky Medlock. Ricky's a Southern rock legend. He's 75.
Wow.
And if he were sitting here right now, he'd go, fellas, I'm sticking around till I'm 100, and I'm going to be playing guitar the whole time. So yeah, it's you know, and we're living in an era, sadly, where so many of our, you know, the four of us sitting here, our heroes, they're starting to age out in the music business. And that news about Aerosmith was super sad, because that's one of the great American bands ever.
We promise we're going to take up the excitement level. I mean, that was a heavy question to start with right there. Yeah, we're going to ask you to sing at 11:07 in the morning, and we're going to start off with, how long do you think you actually can do this for a living?
I mean, it's just fascinating because, you know, we talk about like LeBron James at 40, what he's doing, what Tom Brady did. I mean, there's limits for us all.
There's an end date on everything, but we're all also living longer too, right? And
we are, and you know what, Jim, I think we touched on this a little bit when I was here the last time. I mean, I look to a lot of these sports, you know, a lot of these athletes. They're almost like inspiration for me and some of my musician friends. Certainly, LeBron James. We're all talking about him right now, and you know, just. Man, if you're committed to doing the work and putting in the time and taking care of yourself, who knows? Who knows how long you can perform at an elite level. I hope I can do it.
And not to get dark and demented again, but
no,
but you look at Leonard Skinner and like, if I leave here tomorrow, a great documentary. And
you've seen that. I know you've seen that.
There's so many good Skinner documentaries. The Behind the Music on VH1 is one of the best ever.
Yes.
But, you know, that obviously with the plane crash, it wiped out literally half their band early on, and they were able to circle back, get it together, and 50 years later still playing music, which is pretty crazy.
Lance, It is an incredible story. I don't know that there's another parallel. You know, a situation like Skynyrd, a band kind of at the peak of its success, the plane crash, the leader of the band, the lead singer, dies in the plane crash. 10 years later, the survivors come back together with the lead singer's little brother, who was an artist in his own right, you know, and that, of course, is Johnny Van Zant. And Johnny's been the singer now in Skynyrd for, this is his 39th year.
That's incredible.
Do you think 38 Special would have had more success? Like, I mean, we all like 38 Special.
Yeah.
I still enjoy their music to this day, and they were really big in the 80s, but if he sticks there and focuses on 38 Special, do you think they're one of these rock bands we talk about, a great American rock band?
Well, you know, 38 Special is definitely still around. And
Did not know that.
Yeah, they perform. As a matter of fact, 38 Special was on some shows with Skynyrd 2 years ago, and they sound fantastic. I mean, you know, we're living in this era of nostalgia, and if you're fortunate enough to be in one of those bands that were the soundtracks to our lives.
That's right.
When we were kids, when we were in college, when we were young adults starting our own families. I mean, that music is timeless. It's just still incredible to me, fellas, to just say it out loud. Yeah, I'm one of the guitar players in Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's crazy.
You can see Damon and Brother Kane, by the way, one night only, Saturday, March 15th, Iron City, IronCityBHM.com, IronCityBHM.com. Cage Willis, Miles Morgan with them. Saturday, March 15th, IronCityBHM.com. I say that like that's a Saturday in the future. That's this Saturday,
yeah,
Ryan.
This Saturday.
I don't know why I keep saying it like it's a Saturday 8 months from now. Saturday at Iron City, IronCityBHM.com. Is the little shack on the river in Jacksonville still around where they wrote all their stuff? Do you know?
It is not.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Ryan. That place was affectionately called Hell House.
Yep.
And it was Hell House because it had no air conditioning. You can imagine in the Florida swamps in the summer, those guys in there writing and recording. But, you know, you mentioned the documentary. They do a great job of talking about that and, you know, the importance it played in their story. And, you know, what's mind-blowing, fellas, is the first two albums, which really contain the bulk of their biggest songs,
right.
Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, Simple Man, Give Me 3 Steps. Man, they wrote those songs when they were young men, like kids in their early 20s.
Yeah. I love telling the story of they were rejected by their first 9 album companies. First 9.
Correct.
Because they were shopping Freebird.
Yeah.
And they all listened to it and they're like, that song's too long, man. You can't have songs that long. And think about now, 9 album producers saying no thanks to Freebird. Are you
but our attention span's a lot worse in 2025 as it was back then.
But are you kidding me? They said no to Freebird 9 straight times. And to Lynyrd Skynyrd's credit, they're like, nope, this is our song. Somebody's going to say yes to it, and somebody finally did.
Yeah.
I think it was Capitol, maybe? I could be wrong.
Listen, man, they all passed on them.
Yeah.
All the labels. Capitol, A&M.
Yeah, all of them. They were listening to Freebird.
RCA Victor. They all passed. And let's be real, too. I mean, these were rough and ready, you know, white trash kids from the, you know, West Jacksonville, Florida, you know, the other side of the tracks. And, you know, but it's really, you know, some of the Muscle Shoals guys, they got it, and they cut some of the original demos. Jimmy Johnson, David Hood, those guys, they were around.
Were those the Swampers?
The Swampers.
Yeah.
They, you know, they cut the first demos on Skynyrd, but they weren't able to secure a record deal for it. But then later, Al Cooper, who's a kind of a music legend in his own right, he discovered them in Atlanta, as the documentary, talks about. And, you know, Freebird is all over the radio the next year, and everything changed after that.
You know, the older you get, the more you realize how small the world really is. But since we've been doing this show together, 15 years, by the way.
Wow.
Just randomly, one time we were talking about first concerts, and Dunaway and I were at the same first concert at the BJCC, Kiss, 1977, the Destroyer Tour. Oh. I was going to ask you your first concert and your best concert.
First of all, I have to say I'm so jealous that you saw that show.
I was 5.
See, Jim and I are about the same age.
That's right.
My parents would not hear of it letting me drive from DeKalb County, Alabama, to Birmingham to see Kiss in '77. It just wasn't going to happen. My first concert actually was '79. I saw Boston, and the opening act was one Sammy Hagar.
Oh, wow.
Who later I would become friends with when Brother Kane toured with Van Halen. And Sammy and I wrote 2 songs together for one of his solo records, and, just mind-blowing.
How was Boston live?
They were amazing. I mean, they sounded pretty much like the album.
Wow.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah, their vocals are pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was my first show. And then the next concert I went to after I had moved to North Alabama, I was in the 10th grade. I went to see Ted Nugent, and the opening act was Thin Lizzy. And Thin Lizzy changed my life. Just in that show. That was at the Von Braun Civic Center.
Well, crazy, because you ended up playing with Thin Lizzy, and then you guys did Ted. Oh, no, you actually played with Damn Yankees, because I saw them at Boutwell open for the Black Crowes back in the early 90s.
I mean, guys, one day maybe talking about all these bands that I have played in is going to feel
You're like
normal.
Kevin Bacon, the 3 degrees of separation, man.
I am. I'm the Kevin Bacon of rock and roll. And it was so, it's pretty incredible to think, man, that all the concerts I saw between Birmingham and Huntsville over those years, there was a group of us as friends that we worshiped all those bands. And if some little gnome had have dropped in and said, hey guys, one day Damon is going to be in Thin Lizzy. One day Damon is going to be in Lynyrd Skynyrd. One day Damon's going to have his own band, Brother Kane, and they're going to open for Van Halen and Aerosmith. I wouldn't have taken that bet.
Yeah.
Well,
dreams are made for. That's dreaming,
Yes,
man.
My older brother was in town for his birthday this past weekend, and we were talking music, and he's like, he's from Mobile, or he lives in Mobile now, and he's like, are there any good acts this weekend in Birmingham? And it's funny because when we grew up, he introduced me to a lot of my music, but you would listen to the radio, and that's how you would know concerts were coming.
Yeah.
And then you would go to Oz, or you'd go to Turtles, and you buy your tickets through Ticketmaster. And now it's kind of hard to find out when concerts are coming, because it's not like we're all feeding from the same source like Rock 99 back in the day.
Guys, it's a real issue, and hence me being in your wonderful studio today. I'm grateful to you for helping us spread the word, because listen, man, people in this area remember Brother Kane. They know about Brother Kane. It's just a challenge to let them know, hey, the band is in town. They're playing Iron City Saturday night.
Yeah.
We got new music. We're going to be playing songs from all 3 albums, and getting ready to go in the studio next month, which is itself incredible, because we haven't made a full-length album since 1997. So, man, it just, what is it the kids say today? It wasn't on my bingo card that I'd be playing guitar in Lynyrd Skynyrd and Brother Kane would reform and make a new record.
Brown probably won't remember this. You probably remember where you were in 1989. I remember hearing it on, I think it was Rock 99. That the Rolling Stones were getting back together and they were coming to Birmingham, the Steel Wheels tour. Yeah. I don't know if you were around Birmingham when that happened.
I was. Yeah. I was at that show.
But it was on local news. It was a big deal.
But isn't it amazing they were able to hold that, nobody found out until we actually heard about it at a local level?
Yeah, it was crazy. Legion Field, and it was just a big deal. They were only doing a certain number of sites in America, and Legion Field was going to be one of them.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jim. Let's be real. That's the slam dunk on the age conversation right there. As long as the Stones are still doing it, the rest of us can't hold a candle.
Iron City coming up Saturday night, March 15th. Iron City for Brother Kane. You see on the there with the album cover, updated photos and everything there. Back in the 90s, though, you had one of your number one songs was part of the Halloween soundtrack. I don't go see scary movies, so I missed it in the movies. When that happens, do you guys sell? Do you have promoters that pitch movies, or do the movie people come to you and say, we like that song, we think it'll fit in our movie with Michael Myers?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jim. So the way that stuff works is, you've got your record company, but we also had a publishing company for our songwriting. So people within that are always submitting songs to various music supervisors for film and television. And the story that I got on that was it was like the perfect timing of one of the supervisors sent the Brother Kane album to the guy that was doing the music for I think it was Halloween 6. And he had already heard Full Shine On the radio and liked the song. So it was the serendipity that he gets presented the entire album. He goes, oh yeah, I want this in my movie. And, you know, as you would expect, man, we got extra juice from that, extra promotion. It just exposed the band to an even bigger audience at a time where a straight-ahead rock and roll band like Brother Kane, you know, we weren't the most fashionable band at that moment. It was Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Smashing Pumpkins and all that stuff, and we're still just in blue jeans and T-shirts and playing classic influenced new rock music. Yeah.
I love to make other people money. It seems like now if you get a snippet in a television commercial, that song blows up on Spotify again. It'd be cool to the original hit from Brother Kane. Got no shame.
Yeah.
Was in a television commercial now, whether it's a car commercial or life insurance. I mean, it would blow up again. It would be
What's
huge.
awesome about that, Jim, is you sound like my manager
right
now, because he talks about that a lot. He goes, "Look, man, those songs, for better or for worse, are timeless. They don't sound dated. They, you know, we did a pretty good job of just." You know, we weren't following any trends. We just wanted to try and write some good songs. So they sound as good now as they did 30 years ago.
Well, you know, and I kind of told you a little bit about this story, and I know you've told the story a million times. We're going to get you to tell it again. But I was taking Jack to school a couple of weeks ago, and I told these guys probably last week on the show when we were talking about you were going to be in studio. Got No Shame came on Sirius XM. Don't even remember what channel it was.
Awesome.
And so we're having conversation. I'm like, there is a great backstory to this song. And so I told Jack as much as I know. Now, I'm sure some of it might get embellished about Topper Price being flown out to L.A. and just completely butchering the harmonica part. Then you guys get him a bottle of liquor. I forgot the exact details, but if you'll tell the story.
Wow.
But just to let you know, it's timeless. So my son now has it in his playlist. He sent me a shot of him listening to it last week. He's introduced it to all his buddies. But it is just an incredible rock song that really, truly is timeless.
Well, thank you, brother. I'm certainly proud of that song. It's amazing how stories shapeshift and evolve.
Yeah.
So I'll refresh your memory on the exact facts about that. So we were in Los Angeles recording the bulk tracks of the record, you know, the drums and the whole thing. And then we were going to fly back to Birmingham to record at Airwave Studios to do the overdubs, mainly to save money because it was super expensive to have 4 hillbillies like us out in Los Angeles. So before we left LA, we had recorded Got No Shame, all the guitar parts, everything. And I had always said, man, I'd love to have a harmonica on it. Well, our producer, Jim Mitchell, says, hey, man, I'm going to call the Guns N' Roses guys because he worked with them. He goes, I'll get Teddy Zigzag to come down and play the harp. And I knew Teddy was the organ player and played harmonica. And I said, Jim, you got to listen to me. Please hold off on Teddy. Let's wait till we get to Birmingham. We've got the guy. And, you know, Ted's a big shot. Jim is a big shot producer. And we're just these kids from Alabama that he thinks don't know a whole lot about anything except some pretty decent songs. He goes, I don't know, guys. I mean, this is Teddy Zigzag. He was just on MTV with Guns N' Roses.
So GNR was huge back then.
Yeah,
I mean, that was about the time they hit.
Massive.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was the Use Your Illusion tour.
Yeah.
And I just go, Jim, you got to trust me. Please. He goes, okay, all right. We'll wait and see. We'll do it your way. So sure enough, the next month, we're in Airwave. I called up Topper. I go, hey, buddy, you want to come and play? And he'd been up all night. You know, he didn't have any sleep. He goes, yeah, what do you got? And I'm like, we'll pay you. We're going to pay you full scale like an L.A. musician. He goes, 100%, I'm coming. So he had the bottle of whiskey with him, Lance. He had it with him. He walks into the control room. We played the track. We played half the song once. He goes, all right, I got it. I got it.
So you didn't know you just wanted the harmonica, but you had no idea what it looked or sounded like.
Right. We had no idea. We just knew that Topper was the greatest harmonica player on the planet. We had seen him enough in the clubs in Birmingham. We just knew, the guy was a legend. So he goes out into the tracking room. He insists that they turn the lights off in that room. So we can't even see him, Lance. So we had this little Fender amp, like a Princeton amp, and I could barely see his silhouette through the lights, through the shadows. He stands on top of this little amp. He's got the bullet mic in his hand and the harmonica. He goes, all right, roll the track. And guys, we roll tape on that thing. Jim reaches over and hits the record button. And hand on my heart, everything you hear him play in the song was first take. Wow. One take. The entire song. Jim, the producer, is like on the floor. He's looking at me like, oh my God, you were right. I'm like, I know I'm right. So it was so incendiary. It was so vicious. It was so incredible. The room is just, everybody's buzzing. And I said, Jim, we got to get him to play by himself, to start the whole song off. This should be the first thing people hear. So then the second time we hit record, Topper plays that intro that is now, the famous intro to Got No Shame. Again, one take.
Dude,
and I don't even think he came back in the control room. He's like, all right, guys, thank you. Where do I get my check?
Did that do anything for his career? I mean, I know around here he was a local legend, but...
I mean, again, that's a great question. I would expect that Topper got some phone calls about that, maybe people wanting him to record something on their album, but he was such a unique thing to us, to Alabama, to the Southeast. Guys, I've always felt like we owe Topper kind of everything.
That's really cool.
Wow. Yeah. He really gave us our start. Because when we sent the song out, when the record company sent the song to radio programmers, first thing they hear is that harmonica, and they're like,
hell yes.
Wow. What is this? So we had their full attention.
Yeah. Do we need to do some commercials, or what do we need to do, Jimmy?
Before we hear our song, Odie's brings us part of the show here. Odie's, where these guys will be for trivia tomorrow night.
Yeah, and Rick Carter actually still plays at Odie's every now and then. Odie's Tavern, live music every Friday, Saturday, tomorrow night. We'll be out there for Odie's Team Trivia, the original location in Crestline, newest location right there in Edgewood. Incredible food from our man, Will Haver. We're actually going to be out there. I'm getting the time set. So we'll be in Nashville for the SEC tournament. And we will be back Sunday broadcasting a selection show from Odie's. Now, Dunaway is going to be tentative.
At Odie's, at Nashville.
Yeah, Odie's, Nashville,
Just
depending on
depends.
how the tournament plays out.
Yeah, but we will be doing a live broadcast, Odie's in Edgewood this Sunday. We'll give you more details on that, but just get in for lunch, dinner, live music. You're going to love it. Odie's Tavern.
I don't know if I told you guys, but I live in Nashville.
Right.
I've been there for 12 years.
We're staying with you this week.
Yeah, we
So
are.
I was going to
You
say,
don't know this.
we
Yes.
got to hook up, but you have to get me into that NCAA tournament. Now we gotta
Jim
figure
will
this out.
take care of that. Lance and I.
Well, you're an Auburn fan. That's going to be a tough ticket, man.
That's right.
Your team's pretty good.
Hey, first thing Damon asked us, guys, can you give me any hope for my Auburn Tigers football team?
I do have 2 tickets available for the 12 noon tomorrow game, South Carolina, Arkansas, if I can interest you in that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I've got band practice.
All right, what song do you play for us?
Fellas, I am very excited to play a brand new Brother Kane song
fantastic.
for you. Really proud of this one, proud of this lyric. I just feel like it kind of shows this guy that has grown up a bit over the last 30 years. I was not capable of writing a song like this when I was in my 20s. So check it out. The song is called Are You In There Anymore? Sometimes when the pain comes on, it hits like a ton of lead. You and I, we were good old friends. since the day we met. Stone cold killers, fearless and free, not afraid to cross some line. Riding shotgun to the mountaintop, now I'm missing you from time to time. You said no matter what the score, we'd be the last of the hardcore troubadours. Are you in there anymore? Are you in there anymore, my friend? 'Cause it's getting hard to tell. 'Cause it's getting hard to tell. Hey. Ran around with some gangsters and fools, not a care for what we missed. Bright lights and big city blues. We were 10 feet tall and hard to resist. We made highway with 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on the gas. Chasing love, it made us misbehave, but it served us well till the feeling passed. Oh, but the truth is tricky and hard to find. Did you give it away? Did you leave it all behind? Are you in there anymore? Are you in there anymore, my friend? 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. Yeah. Are you in there anymore? Are you in there anymore, my friend? 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. So very, very hard to tell. Guess all good things must come to an end. We just ran out of road. You went your way and I went mine. The regret you feel is a heavy load. Boy, don't you doubt in those moments alone, I gave you my very best. Keep telling yourself what you want to believe. Are you still too proud to confess? Oh, but the truth is tricky and hard to find. Did you give it away to leave it all behind? Are you in there anymore? Are you in there anymore, my friend? 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. Are you in there anymore? Are you in there anymore, my friend? 'Cause that's getting hard to tell. So very, very hard to tell. Are you in there? Oh, yeah.
Are you in there anymore? It's new from Brother Kane and our buddy Damon here. It's Iron City coming up Saturday night. Thanks to our friends at Kodar Production. 10 feet and hard to resist. I used to live by that motto, man. That's
Jim, I love that you were listening.
That's right. Got the lyrics, Damon.
That one popped for me, man.
I swear to you, man, that line was about growing up in this club scene, in the bar scene in Birmingham. We would go out every night of the week to hear bands, or we would go play shows ourselves.
Yep.
And we were 10 feet tall and bulletproof, we thought.
Yeah, I always felt like I had to, when I'd walk back to the bathroom at Louis, I'd have to duck because I felt 10 feet tall back then.
You said you wouldn't have been capable of writing that song 30 years ago, and you talked about like Leonard Skinner writing Simple Man when they were in their early 20s or late teens. And, you know, Steven Tyler, you know, the story was he wrote Dream On when he was like 16.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you write those type of songs without life experience?
Yes, those are inexplicable stories, guys. I know we touched on this last time. You know, when we started shopping for a record deal, I was the guitar player. I was just the guitar player. I didn't want to be the singer. It never occurred to me to be the singer. So through a weird happenstance of events, we couldn't find anybody that we really liked, and the record company convinced me to do it myself. So I had to, like, can you imagine? I mean, that's like being thrown into the NBA and you've been playing baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to, like, really step on the gas, and you know, I co-wrote with other people. Thankfully, I met some great collaborators that kind of taught me, like, in the game. Like, I was already, we had a record deal, we had a release schedule and all that, and some of those lyrics on that first Brother Kane album, and they're the first lyrics I've ever written in my life. I wasn't writing lyrics in high school or junior college. I was just learning guitar solos. I just wanted to be Jimmy Page.
It's like blocking as a running back.
Yeah.
You know, they don't do it in high school. Got to pick up that pass rush.
Who was the best? You mentioned a guitar player or a singer. Who do you think put the two together the best all time?
Oh, great question. I mean, the obvious, you know, pinnacle of the mountaintop is Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix.
Right. The voice and the guitar.
He was the total package.
Yeah.
The storytelling, the guitar playing. I mean, that guy reinvented the electric guitar. Peter Frampton, you know, there's a lot of Peter Frampton at my house, you know, such a great melodic, almost jazz influenced guitar player. Man, how about those lyrics? Do you feel like we do? And Show Me the Way. I mean, those are incredible songs. You know, and talking about great singer guitar players, I mean, I can't get this new Jason Isbell album out of my car right now. He just put out a full solo acoustic record.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that guy's killing it. And he's from right here in the state of Alabama. And he is a massive talent. He's one of the greatest songwriters of our time, you know. And he's a monster guitar player as well.
Not a whole lot of happy on there.
Hey,
he doesn't do a lot of happy, does he?
Not a lot of happy.
Not a lot of happy.
Randomly, movie about music that is better, Almost Famous or Whiplash? Have you seen both?
Wait. Oh, yeah, Whiplash. Yeah, Whiplash.
That's the one with the
dark.
drummer?
Yeah.
Whiplash, that movie was dark. I mean,
such different, you know, genres altogether.
Lance, that's an incredible, like, to bring both of those up because they're both amazing films. Almost Famous is more real life, like, you know, being a fan, being behind the scenes, even being in the bands, you know. But Whiplash, man, I mean, most musicians have a recall of at least one person that was really tough on them. You know, in my case, it was some of the older blues musicians that I got to play with in North Alabama when I was just a kid.
So they get on your ass back then?
Oh, dude, they didn't cut me any slack. You know, they could tell that I was pretty confident and thought I knew what I was doing, but clearly I did not. And so they taught me so much about my amp sound, you know, my tone, about, you know, song choice, about, you know, about all kinds of things. So, you know, I'm grateful that I got pushed around like that.
Did you play with the Allman Brothers?
We did a couple of shows with the Allman Brothers and Brother Kane. I had about 5 minutes with Greg Allman at the amphitheater in St. Louis, and, you know, it was like sitting at the foot of Christ.
He's got a presence, doesn't he?
Oh, bro, just heavy. Just such a, to me, Greg is maybe the greatest rock singer of all time. It's a toss-up between Greg and Paul Rogers from Bad Company.
We're very lucky. The Lyric is such a great music hall. Iron City, I think, is fantastic as a music hall. Of the places you've played in our country, not the big venues, but the small venues, the 5,000 or less, like an Iron City. Is there a favorite one for sound or just atmosphere, almost like a baseball player going to Fenway or Wrigley?
Great question. The first venue that popped into my head is Kane's Ballroom out in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
That place has been there for decades.
What part of Oklahoma?
They record a lot of live albums there, right? You find them on your Spotify,
I think
right?
It's not far from Tulsa.
Okay.
Is that where your guys Cross Canadian Ragweed?
I think I have an album, Cross Canadian Ragweed, from there.
I bet you do. Like Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys used to play at Kane's Ballroom. That's amazing. You know, there's some beautiful theaters around. Brother Kane got to open for Robert Plant at the theater in Boston. and the name of it escapes me. Maybe it was the Tower Theater in Boston. But just so ornate. Listen, man, the Alabama Theater right here in Birmingham, man, that's, we played a few shows there.
Robert Plant. Do you take pictures with all these guys?
You know what? I didn't take a lot of pictures with those guys back then in the 90s. We didn't have cell phones or anything like that. And let's be real, we were kind of scared to death, man. We didn't want to do anything to screw up and get kicked off the tour. So, but it was a bonus that Robert was so gracious and really friendly, and he would come out. I'd see him standing on the side of the stage listening to us. And
just saw that documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Me too, man.
Yeah, really good.
I saw it 2 days ago. It was amazing.
Really good. I'm glad you brought up Bad Company because I loved Bad Company as a kid. Saw them a couple of times in concert. Nobody talks about Bad Company.
Yeah, Paul Rodgers, was in Free before Bad Company. You can ask anybody. I just read an interview a couple weeks ago with John Mellencamp, and they asked him, who's the greatest rock singer of all time? He goes, Paul Rodgers. That's easy. No contest.
Wow.
Paul Rodgers.
That's crazy.
He's the GOAT.
Did you guys like Lou Gramm from Foreigner?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Hey, they've got a guy that sounds just like him. I don't know how that works. I mean, Journey had the Filipino kid that sounded like Steve Perry, but to find those guys.
See, check out what you're talking about right there. You're talking about three of the biggest, certainly radio bands in America of all time. Journey, Foreigner, Lynyrd Skynyrd. Journey has, I think, 2 original members in it.
Neil Sean is with them, and
Jonathan Cain wasn't even original.
Oh, was he not?
Yeah. I mean,
okay, he's still with
Jonathan
them.
didn't come in until whatever the album was before Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah.
He had one record before he wrote that. But, Lynyrd Skynyrd, no original members in it now. Foreigner, no original members in it. It's a testament to those songs and just, the impact it's had on all of our lives.
Tribute bands, really.
Yeah, they really are. No, I don't shy away from calling it what it is, and neither does Johnny Van Zandt. I mean, he says it, guys, from the stage, every show. We play 2 songs. He welcomes everybody. He says, we are here to pay tribute to the timeless, amazing music of Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I love that.
So for him to own it like that, and there's so much noise online. If you want to look for, naysayers and detractors,
you don't think we know that, Damon?
Yeah, I guess so.
We live in it every day.
Yeah, you guys, you know about it as much as I do. So you just got to tune that out. I'm sure that's what you do.
Yeah.
You got to.
Well, you got to reduce, and I know we got to go, right? But you got to reduce the circle of people whose opinion matter to you.
That's beautiful.
No, you do.
That's very well said.
Yeah, I mean, I chose to do that a long time ago, is just reduce that circle. Like, I care what these guys think about me. I care what my family thinks about me.
Your advice to your daughters. Tell Damon
my
what
advice
that
to
is.
my 2 daughters
Which is so legitimate.
Has always been never worry about criticism from someone you wouldn't ask for advice.
Let me put that in my phone.
I mean, but
now.
That's pretty strong, isn't it?
If you don't care enough about their opinion to ask their advice, why do you care about their criticism?
Say that one more time. Right?
Never worry about criticism from someone you wouldn't ask for advice.
Never worry about criticism from someone you wouldn't ask for advice. Wow, that's beautiful.
The other thing I always tell them is the easiest thing in the world to control is your attitude. But,
Well, the timing on this is
But
great.
you got a great
because
attitude.
I'm trying to finish writing these Brother Kane songs.
And if you need a slower, deeper song, LT will come hang out with you, and he'll help you take some lyrics up.
Bro,
it's going to end up like Hurt from Johnny Cash.
But we're sure you got at least one more good concert in you before you shut it down. That's what we started the interview.
Oh, guys, yeah. Oh, for sure, sure.
We got a good one coming up Saturday night for sure. Iron City. With our friends at Kodar Productions. We look forward to that. Tickets, you can get them at the door. You can get them online. Where else can you get tickets?
Yeah, man, you can go to brotherkane.com. I can't overstate how fantastic our new website looks, guys. You'll love this. The 3 of you will love this. So the band broke up in 1999 or 2000.
Was it a girl? Just a difference in opinion? No reason?
Well,
we used to work with one of your exes up at Cumulus way back in the day.
Indirectly, but not directly. But remember, 2000, man, this is like the advent of the internet has just been around a little bit. Social media has yet to really happen. But I had this GoDaddy account for brotherkane.com. I owned the URL. And I was going to get rid of it and not have to pay that $7 a month, you know?
Yes.
And a buddy of mine called me. He goes, listen, Damon, whatever you do, just keep paying that annual fee. Hang on to that URL. He goes, you just never know. He goes, I know you're done with Brother Kane, but just hang on to it. And true to his words, 2 years ago, we relaunched brotherkane.com. My manager, who's my new manager, he wasn't with me back in the day. I said, oh yeah, bro, I got that URL. He said, well, what is it? Because he thought it was going to be like official Brother Kane.
That's right.
Well, there it is. Scott has pulled it for us.
Yeah, there it is. Brother Kane.
Just brotherkane.com.
Yeah. Just brotherkane.com. Yeah. He was aghast. He couldn't believe it. He was like, wow. So I'm proud of that.
I do. They make fun of me, but any new social media platform comes out, if I read about it day one, I go and lock down Jim Dunaway. Like nowhere am I Jim Dunaway 267 or anything like that.
Jim, I wish I'd have done that with Damon Johnson on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you just type in Damon Johnson, it's some weightlifter guy in Philadelphia. I don't think he's posted in like 6 years. Damn it, he got the name.
And if you approach him about it, it'll be worth a lot of money to him. Yeah. All right. We appreciate you being in studio with us. That's Damon. Brother Kane, Iron City coming up this weekend. March 15th, Iron City in Birmingham, one night only. So you can't wait for the next show. Go get it and get those tickets right there at brotherkane.com, brotherkane.com. We're back in a moment for final thoughts and a little trash as well. Stay with us.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Can I just ask why are your shoes off? What were you doing back there, Jeeves?
So I guess my pants were a little too long, and so the little seam on the inside of the cuff started to come loose. So I was just pulling off the loose thread.
Okay. So it wasn't your shoes off. You were working on the bottom of your trousers.
No, I've kept my shoes on all day.
It's good.
Somebody in the chat room the other day was like, if you could give me a choice to go to lunch with anybody on the show, it'd definitely be Tyler.
By far the most interesting.
You just sit there. Well, he's the newest, right? So we end up.
Damon Lee. Look, Damon's bringing us Brother K.
Nice.
Thank you, Damon. Oh, no, they're Leonard Skinner guitar picks.
Oh, even better.
Really cool with Damon Johnson on the back.
Thank you.
Oh, your daughter had them made? How cool. Thank you, Damon.
I'd appreciate it if you pretend I'm 7 rows back and throw it to me, but.
No, you don't, because I'm good at that.
Yeah, I would. I love that. Thank you so much.
Is there a nicer guy than that guy?
No, not
incredible.
Such an incredibly nice guy.
And we did ask him off air his favorite Leonard Skinner song to play. Tuesday's Gone.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs.
It's incredible.
Bring a tear to a cold heart.
Another long one.
I would say before Brownie tells us about Shannara too that you could just see "Got No Shame" in a commercial right now, right? Somebody's getting ready to leave the house to jump into their brand new car. We'll call it a I don't know,
Ford Explorer.
No, it's some big truck probably.
Okay,
it's a businessman.
GMC Silverado.
Businessman. He's
Chevy
getting
Silverado.
dressed. He's tying that tie. And then he walks out the door, and it's got no shame, and he crawls into his big truck.
I mean, that song really is an incredible rock song.
Oh, my God.
And it's not just because, it's Birmingham based or whatever. It's one of those iconic songs.
Yeah, it just drives, man.
After Shannara, I've got a little breaking basketball news for you. I'm interested in your reaction to it. Alexander Shannara.
Does it involve Chad Baker Mazar?
It does not.
Okay, then.
Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots, elite trial lawyers that have recovered more than $2 billion. And if you find yourself in need of an attorney, we suggest Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. They can handle any issue that this community faces. They handle not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claimes. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys.
Do I not? You use this part to pick with, though, right?
Yeah, but the face you were doing was
I mean, I'm picking with the right part.
It's the same
right?
face when Hydra Live comes in to give you a bag.
Yeah. I use that face a lot in life, by the way.
From Jeff Goodman, 6'6" junior guard entering the transfer portal. A name you guys will definitely recognize.
6'6" junior guard.
6'6" junior guard. You will definitely recognize this name. He's in the transfer portal. He averaged 18.9 points per game.
Oh, wait, is this the kid from Kennesaw State?
It is not the kid from Kennesaw State.
God, I can't wait till he gets in. He's got to come to Tuscaloosa.
It's going to be your Indian.
Trey Eaglestaff
of
North Dakota is officially in the portal.
Track that plane. Is he in Tuscaloosa yet?
Alabama saw him up close, as Jeff Goodman includes in the tweet. He had 40 earlier this season against Alabama.
Yeah.
That would be the logical destination if you're Nate Oates.
We even joked with Greg Byrne about it. If you remember, Greg Byrne was on the show the day after that game, and Lance asked him, Did you pack Eagle staff in your carry-on? It's 6'6" guard, a little big for that.
No, but I don't have his name in front of me, but I mentioned on one of the basketball shows with Taylor Corn earlier this year, the kid from Kennesaw State who is their leading scorer is a Tuscaloosa kid. And he led Kennesaw State in scoring. So
you think Petway's going to send him to his alma mater?
You'd hate to go take one from Petway, but he was a freshman, true freshman. You just think.
I don't think Nate would hate that at all.
No. Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Pat. All right. Trash time here, a little condensed version today brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tyler, if you've got your pants in order, Jeeves, hit it.
Do y'all usually start before 8 o'clock with a chainsaw?
What time is it, sir?
Well, it's after 8 now. You guys started firing it up at 7:55.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Back when life was simpler.
The old pandemic. Under his breath, I think he said sorry about that, does he?
I don't know. I've never heard
I think that's the first time I've heard that.
No, you've never heard that? Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
As the other guy is hammering the trigger.
Yes. Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200. MLS 2239, equal housing lender.
By the way, it wasn't sincere when he said sorry about that.
a little sarcasm.
He wasn't sorry about that.
So I had not seen this, and you guys have probably seen it because our buddy Bo called yesterday and he said, "Have you seen the high school track and field baton?"
I have. This is crazy.
So Virginia High School League is investigating after one runner hit another in the head with a baton during a track and field relay race. Colleen Tucker, junior at Brookville High School, was running in the second leg of the 4x200 relay, Virginia State High School League Championships, when the shocking incident occurred.
I mean, it is blatant, and I've never seen anything like this.
Now, Tucker, second sprinter, as you see right there, video side by side as they round the corner. Just as Tucker passes the other runner, athlete is seen swinging her baton, hitting Tucker. Quote, "I just felt a bang on my head, then I fell off the track immediately." According to Tucker, Tucker was seen on camera dropping her baton and reaching for her head.
She even looks back at her as she runs past her. I mean,
yeah, but I think that's her natural running motion.
I don't think there's any way.
What somebody would try to sell you on.
This is what my lawyer would say. I mean, that is just, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. That's why you want to be in the lead, man. You can't catch me.
Now, since the incident, Aliyah Everett, who hit Tucker in the video, said that she has received a wave of hatred. Quote, "They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video." Well, it was an interesting video.
Yeah, it is interesting, yes.
Well, I mean, what did the other girl do before they made the turn there?
I don't know. Oh,
yeah.
Her defense was she was running and her arms are moving like that, and it just kind of came down with the baton hitting her directly in the back of the head.
If I'm the other attorney, I'm going to say, okay, let's see the rest of the race. When else are you running like
Brown,
that?
most interesting thing you've done with the Pringles can?
Well, Lance, it was part of a prank, and I filled it with something.
Well, you got to tell a little bit of the story there because of the shape of the Pringle can, people are going to take the wrong way.
Sure. Part of the prank, I filled it with some bodily waste.
Yeah, number two.
Placed it in a room.
Orlando woman arrested after attacking a man on Thursday. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, her weapon of choice, a Pringles chip can.
That was my weapon as well. Let me correct that. It wasn't a prank. It was retribution for somebody that was bullying another younger kid. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
What, did you drop it in their car?
No, I put it in their room. Yeah. There's some backstory here that I don't need to tell, but yeah, this was retribution for bullying.
Orange County.
So we bullied right back.
PD
exactly what we did.
Said they responded to a physical fight at the 7-Eleven gas station on International Drive in Orlando. Quote, "I arrived at 7-Eleven, eventually made contact with the victim, who was later identified by his Florida driver's license as Martin Milburn." Now, Martin said the assailant, Shanika Sherdahl, struck him in the eye with a Pringles can, took off running. Quote, "While speaking with Martin, I observed that Martin had a significant cut on his right eyebrow and below his eye, causing him to bleed." 7-Eleven employee witnessed the incident, provided a sworn statement. Went on to say a male customer got hit in the head with a can of Pringles. All the guy was doing was informing me of another customer that was lying down on the side of the building. That's when they got hit in the face with the can. She looks like she got popped too.
Yeah. I got dotted.
Just quick guess. You think her Pringles can was empty when she threw it, or no chips left?
Yeah, I would say that it was
Nothing
empty.
but crumbs.
Yeah, her can's expired, by the way. Teenager has been banned from play parks. I guess that's what they call them overseas.
It's a playground, what we call a playground? Is that it?
Same thing.
As he awaits trial over an alleged sex act, which is said to have involved a rocking horse and a branch.
Oh, no.
Caleb Green was accused of common law charge of outraging public decency. 18-year-old is said to have performed a sex act on himself at the time, used parts of a rocking horse and part of a tree while engaging in the act.
Boy, we got a good, clear picture of the guy, too. I mean, he's never going to live this one down, is he? I mean, a good, clear picture of the old boy.
I'm just glad this is the picture.
Oh, yeah. I did not want to see the act by any stretch of the imagination at all.
Got no shame, man.
He got no shame. Yeah.
And finally, we have this story way too many times. A man claimed he was shot by his dog while laying in bed on Monday morning.
Now, I could see your dogs doing this. They have opposable thumbs somehow.
So
I don't think they would shoot you.
I can't
but I think
make
they
this
could
up. I've got this, and you guys haven't seen the crate, but the crate is kind of like a condo where it's got these two sliding doors. And so it looks like a piece of furniture. So they sleep in this every night. Well, Chili has found a way to get out of it. So now I have to back an ottoman on top of it. But like sometimes in the middle of the night, it'll sound like somebody's breaking down the door.
He's figured out a way to get out of it, away.
Out of a crate.
This dog is incredible.
Yeah. So last night I heard this insane noise. So I get up this morning, and Chili's on the couch looking at me.
Yeah.
And she has shit twice in the kitchen and pissed twice.
Yeah.
And the ottoman is just like thrown aside somehow?
No, it's a little bit of a poor bullet still is shaking in his crate.
Yeah.
And there's just a little opening where she somehow was able to snake out.
What kind of crate is it? Is it like a
the ones that are supposed to keep a dog in?
No, this looks like a piece of furniture. It's really cool. It's almost like a crate condo where it's got the two sliding doors that lock at the bottom. Now, Chili has found a way. The two locks at the bottom of hers are gone. Like, I can't make it up.
It's remarkable.
Wow. Yeah. You could try one of the igloo-shaped crates. Those do a pretty good job.
I might go old school 70s
gotta, like, squeeze
and just chain her out back.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not to that point.
I don't end up choking you with that chain in the middle of the night.
If we ever wake up one day and Lance's car is stolen, no need to call them. We know who took it.
It's Chili.
I'm dead.
Can you just see Chili
laying in a pool of blood? Would y'all blame Chili?
Yeah. That's right. I mean, you really, all you have to do is if you want to kill Lance, you go murder him and then drag that dog over and put paw prints in the blood and let it start running around.
You know, when I rehome Chili, I was told from the rescue this was her first rehome. And then after the fact, I did back research, and I'm her third rehome.
Yeah.
And there's a reason.
Are the other two living?
I know one is. Now, the Memphis Police Department responded to the accidental injury call just before 4 a.m. where Gerald Kirkwood told police he was lying in bed with his female friend when his dog jumped on the bed. Now, Oreo, the 1-year-old pit bull, allegedly got his paw stuck in the trigger guard, hit the trigger. Kirkwood was grazed by the bullet in top of his left eye. That's what you normally... You're laying with your lady friend with your gun in bed, right?
Of course, yeah. You never know when she's going to attack you.
That's not AI, though, right?
Is that a real picture, Tyler, or is that foul footage?
It's a Photoshop I found. I wanted to search a dog with gun, and that was the funniest one I saw.
That is 100% Lance's dog right there.
Reports here say the female friend left the scene after the accidental shooting and took the gun with her.
Yeah.
Leave the cannoli.
And that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. No cost or obligation to find out what you might qualify for. You can get more information. Go to the website, mortgageright.com, or call 205-900-7200.
Hey, stand by, folks, because we're almost done here. But the Pennant Grace returns today.
Wow.
With Josh and Emily Grace. Does it return today?
I asked EG about 5 minutes ago, and she said it returns Thursday.
Okay. So keep standing by, everyone.
Hey, y'all stand by on Thursday. The Pennant Grace. Forget this part of the card that says Tuesdays and Thursdays. It starts on Thursday. I saw Josh here.
Yeah, I saw Ush here as well, but
that's not necessarily notable.
He just likes to be here.
So it's a day that ends with Y.
So it starts Thursday, but it'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays live at 12:15 all baseball season. But it starts this Thursday, episode 1, but Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:15. You can follow them on social media at the Pennant Grace, You can watch it on Disrupt, the YouTube page, on EG's X, or we call it Twitter, Apple and Spotify podcasts now, which you'll have for you. And plus, after certain big games throughout the year and important trades and such like that, injuries occasionally, you will have live versions. So set your alert there on all those pages. It's the Pennant Grace, which I'm told starts Thursday at 12:15 Central Time.
Big day.
Tuesday and Thursday throughout the year for the Pennant Grace. That's our show today. We appreciate Stephen Pearl, Clay Travis, and Damon Johnson for their time, and we appreciate your time as well. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.